Hello, Craig. Hello, GameBot. Let's start with our sounds. May has just run out of this room and slammed the door and sealed it behind you. But how did we get here? Our party is here in the Gorgon Temple, a large library devoted to all things necromantic and death related. And after finding out from the construct of bones and magic that makes up the body of the library itself, party found out that something that it couldn't quite grasp or understand was making it uncomfortable, was causing it problems, and causing some stress and consternation to the clerics here. Through their intuition, they discovered that it was remnants, and this is in fact where the remnants are currently sealed and stored, but that there is a little bit of contact between the remnants and the outside. High clerics temporarily giving up their bodies to remnants in order to gather information about, in this case, why they are so upset, and in other cases, for some historical information potentially as a research resource. Um, the party, claiming their expertise in remnants without mentioning Jonas, offer to help clarify this situation. And while Beliala is sent off to spy on Abbot Tinnitus, who is going to begin taking the test to become a high cleric and gain access to this area, the rest of you try to get a head start by coming down with four of the high clerics, Rag, Rain, Tarsandin, and Astora, as well as two other flunky necromancers, in order to confront the remnants, try to figure out what's going on with them. Fish maybe trying to use their powers to commune with them in some respect. And when one of the high clerics, Brother Astora, offered himself to go forward, Fish noticed something a little odd. And using their Eldritch Sight, found that Brother Astora had a remnant already in him, a new kind of remnant, one that has been hinted at, one that Fish has seen in dreams with Henry, a gray type, one that gives influence rather than control, but is much subtler, harder to detect, harder to remove. And that Sister Tarsandin and the two necromantic flunkies had these remnants as well, as did May Gladly. The one from Brother Ostora was removed by Sister Rag in a great show of magic. But as that remnant disappeared into the chamber with the other remnants, things seem to happen. The other remnants seem to get ideas, maybe a bit of communication between this remnant brought to them from the outside, and they started attacking the barrier, keeping them trapped in this room deep underneath the library. May, confronted by a hostile Fish and Jamal, high clerics, and Cal, um, driven to paranoia by her, what is now known as the influence of the remnant, believes that her friends are attacking her and are perhaps themselves possessed by remnants here to hurt her, and trying to save herself and perhaps save her friends. May has cast a spell to charm many of the people here, run outside the door, thrown the lock, and sealed it with a mold earth. As the rest of you stare down this churning mass of remnants, a cloud of them so thick it obscures the room past this delineation point, and they start seeming to attack, chew, press against this barrier, stealing them on one side of the room and protecting you all. As Cal and Jamal and Brother Rain are charmed, thinking that perhaps May has left to get reinforcements, and you are all holding the line. And Fish, Kekino, and Sister Rag, aware that May has had some sort of freak out, and at least Fish and Kekino know that May is infected with a remnant before running away. And as this happens, the remnants pressing and swirling, you almost feel them. You can feel anger and fear and feelings from the outside pressing down on you, almost whispering at the edge of your hearing as they press and press against this barrier. What do you all do?
Okay, well, that's also proof that I'm telling the truth.
What is the remnants attacking? Yes. No, they're dangerous. Yeah, Sister Rag, Brother Rain. I don't know any sort of necromantic symbol magic really yet, but is there something I can do to help you strengthen this, or maybe I should get help in addition to May? Cal, what do you think? What are we doing?
How freaked out does Jamal seem?
Very.
Cal's like, you go get help.
Okay. All right. I'll be back as soon as I can. He turns to run. It kind of like stumbles on his robe a little bit. Not the most athletic person. May is a lot faster, so hopefully she will be able to jog down these halls and get some help. But it doesn't hurt to have some backup. As Jamal runs up and grabs the handle and tries to yank it open, and it just won't open. It's locked. We're stuck. Yes, Brother Jamal.
Well,
it's a security feature. After Miss Gladly left, we were locked in here for the safety of the rest of the temple.
Alright, well, Tractane, how about you slip a piece of paper underneath and see what you can do with that? Meanwhile, Fish, looks at Kekino very seriously and goes, alright, buddy, you go get help actually for real. You can see, using Eldritch Sight, who is infected and who's not. Go get someone who's not. Tosses him at the door, expecting him to blink in sync to just get out of there.
Okay, so you're casting Blink?
Sorry, I was just
With
imagining-
Kekino.
With Kekino, yeah.
Getting slammed against the door.
Give me a D20 roll. You don't add
if I
anything
fuck
to
up
it.
the roll, that's what happens, and that'll be very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jamal have an origami bird spell ability?
13.
13?
Yeah.
As you wind up Kekino and just kind of throw him overarm like a baseball. You see him go, ah! Nope. And as he like is about to connect with the door, like covering his eyes with his flippers, Jamal like ducking out of the way really fast. He kind of like seems to jiggle a little bit, like he is water for just a split second, and just disappears. And then you hear in your head, "I got it. I'm through. Do you know the way out?"
No.
Okay, I'll find it.
Call out to May.
I'll figure it out.
Follow us.
May!
Follow us, Mel.
May! Oh, smell is good. Smells like dank and like dead bodies, like bones, and maybe some books.
Yeah, where's the special dirt? The archaeologist dirt. Follow the dirt.
Oh, okay. This way, and you just feel Kekino move more distantly from you, and you don't know if he's going the right direction. But he is moving away from you, so hopefully.
That's that taken care of for now. Now let's turn towards the remnants.
Yes. Jamal pulls out a little small book that he has. Cal is close enough to hear him whisper an apology to the book before tearing out a page and trying to stuff it into any of the cracks around the door, trying to find an opening. It's not super strong, but because he can use his magic to manipulate paper, he might be able to like slip something into a crack and then make a wedge to kind of like break the door hinges or something like that, try to get it open. He seems to be struggling though. This seems like a pretty tight fit in here, as he's just kind of getting down on his hands and knees and just trying to slide a paper underneath the door at all of the edges. And then that doesn't work, so he's gonna take it and he's gonna rip it in half so it's a thinner piece, and then go and see if there's a thinner section that it can go through. As you turn back to the remnants, you hear footsteps. Strangely loud in this. Strangely loud in this space. And as a sort of bubble of remnant shrouded area starts to flow back, you see just at the edge Brother Astora, still handcuffed, rope trailing off from his handcuffs, although the end is nowhere to be seen, nowhere you can grab. Veins entirely black dripping from his eyes as he says, "Free us. The Father returns. Free us."
No. What else?
Then we free ourselves. 3 shadow spears come out of the darkness. I'm going to make 3 attack rolls on one on Rag, one on Rain, and one on Fish, because Fish is close.
Cal's like, what am I, shoplifter?
Cal is slightly farther away, but yes. Don't worry, you'll be targeted by them eventually. All right, let's do this. Okay, we're gonna say Rag, Rain, Okay, miss on Fish. That is both a hit on Rag and Rain, as spears come out hidden from the darkness. Technically, those should all be with advantage, actually. Well, I'll roll the same dice so I can keep track of which of the advantages, because they're hidden. Okay, still a miss on Fish. Good to know. As spears of shadow comes out. Rain puts up an arm, catches one right in the forearm as a spear of shadow comes through, and Rag kind of ducks out of the way and gets a big slice on the shoulder before pushing her magic back into this reinforcement. And you hear some movements, although you can't see the people. Astora is right in front of you, handcuffed, no magic, seemingly the voice, but there are 3 others in the Remnant Shadows that if
Not
they're
handcuffed.
that are not handcuffed, and if their gray remnants decided to leave, would be quickly infected by a black remnant. What do you do in this moment, as you seem to be under attack?
Rag is trying to reinforce the line. Yeah.
Both Rag and Rain are, yes. And
Okay.
they seem to be kind of struggling with it and a little anxious.
Fish is gonna. I would like to roll a symbol check and help as best I can.
Okay, give me a symbol check.
15.
15.
Yeah.
With a 15, you don't recognize most of the symbols. You recognize a couple from the book that Cal put together of necromantic notes. So some that you studied way back in the day. They're woven together in kind of a strange way you wouldn't expect, just like different symbol traditions. And you realize with a 15, I think that neither Rag nor Rain made this. They just maintain it, and therefore don't necessarily have a lot of symbol understanding. They are trying to brute force reinforce this rather than kind of like precision reinforce this, which maybe is the right move and maybe is not. But as you are watching this barrier and watching the remnants kind of push up against it and bounce off, try and slither closer and seem to almost chew on it for a minute, you can see that there is this like safe bubble around each of the soul catchers, where anytime a remnant gets too close, it gets sucked in. But farther away, kind of in the more shadowed corners of the room, is where Rag and Rain seem to be focusing, and there seems to be kind of a fluctuation in power, getting really strong and then weak and then strong and then weak, and you don't know if that's like, if it's going to hold. It's like stressing the security.
Yeah. Fish points at a soul catcher and goes, "How many can this hold?"
I'll do an Arcana check with advantage. Rag would probably know that. Yeah. Rag says, and she has now gotten. She now understands that you can understand her. She just can't understand you. So she speaks to you in Farsi, makes eye contact with you for just a moment, and says, essentially, theoretically, they could hold up to almost 1,000 each, which is not like the full amount that is here, but is, the majority here.
A portion.
In practice, we do not know. We've never stressed the system, and there's never been this much push. Brother, can you contact...
Well, we're probably going to have to test it out right now.
Brother, can you contact the library? I'm trying. I'm trying to get through.
I'll go into an action for that. Cal apparently is better at this than all of these dumb bitches who've been here for decades. And reaches a hand out to I'm assuming there's a safe part of wall to touch on this side of the line, and
I mean, there's a bunch of like ancient symbols shit there that like May's not here to tell you what any of this is. Maybe it's dangerous because like an ancient trap that wasn't deactivated or something, but like nothing having to do with the remnants.
yeah. Well, Cal looks for a bare part of wall and reaches her hand out and closes her eyes and decides to be like, feeling very stupid about it, being like, library.
You feel a sense of interest and a little bit of concern, but it is very muffled, like someone shouting at you from like 4 rooms over. You don't really understand how the ancient magic of it all works, but this is clearly like the most intact part of the ruins that were here. And when you talked to the library before, you know, talking being kind of a abstract term in this case, the library couldn't tell you exactly what was going on with the remnants or anything that was happening, just that they were making it very uncomfortable and disturbing it and disturbing the clerics. I think trying to reach the library, you realize that this room, this sealed place of the remnants, is something like a gallstone in the body. You know, it is part of it, it is in it, but it is cut off, and the interior is separate. You feel that you can reach the library, just that communication is very difficult and muffled, and you can kind of feel in this moment the magic of Brother Rain trying to reach out through the same pathways, although just working by instinct with the with your communication with the library, you'd think it's not as easy as or directed as it is for you right now, because he's also focusing on trying to keep the remnants out. He can't give his full attention to it.
Okay. Cal. Sometimes it's so funny to imagine someone having to carry multiple fucking sending stones and just being like, here's my pocket full of river rocks.
Yeah, and being like, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one?
Somebody
being
should
like-
invent a way to just have this all on one stone and you can select someone's name.
It's like I labeled these, but I labeled them with symbols instead of names, and now for security, and now I don't remember what they mean. Did I say May was the star, or was that Sinner? No, I wouldn't have given Sinner a star. Okay.
How is the charm looking? Has it been a minute yet?
The charm is starting to fade. It is not quite gone. This has all been happening very fast, but it is starting to fade, and it's not like it ends and you immediately know that like May fucked around and abandoned you. It's just the idea is no longer insane. You just kind of are like, why did I think May was getting help? And it's like, she's not. She abandoned us. What?
And does Beliala have her own sending stone?
Beliala most likely has a sending stone connecting her to Cal. Yeah.
Okay. Cal
probably
is
not
going
the
to do the thing where I think something feels off enough that she like starts the May sending stone ringing, and while it is ringing, she goes to the Beliala sending stone.
As you call Beliala, when you use a phone in our modern age, sometimes it rings forever and you get the voicemail, and sometimes it rings once and then immediately stops, and that means like somebody picked it up and hung up on you. You get that from Beliala, and then like a moment later, a call comes back, and Beliala, like very quietly whispering, is like, "Okay, Caliginus, I'm in a safe position. What is it that you need?"
Hello. Thank you for the work you have been doing for Tinnitus. We're all stuck in the room with the remnants. There are remnants in here. I don't think I mentioned that to you. We're all stuck in the room with the remnants. I don't know where May's gone. Try to run interference with the degree where we can. Ask for help. I know they're not going to trust you. But I can try and see if I can get no, because if I get rain on the stone, they're gonna think he's possessed by a remnant.
Fish just clamps a hand on her shoulder and kind of just yells over for a second into the stone. Find Kekano. Okay, bye.
Okay, so ask for help from the clerics here, or from Sister Tail, or find Kekano. What is my priority?
I don't think Cal hesitates. I'm just hesitating as a player. There's Tail, there's May, and Harkin's mostly fucking useless. Everybody's busy with Tinnitus. If you went into the route of people working with Tinnitus and distract that, you could at least distract from it. Tinnitus would have a bitch fit about how everybody's keeping him from taking the test, but he can't really do much about it because they'd have to at least, check and reach out. Belliola probably can't reach out to the library. Kakano is probably very far away from her right now. Shit. Yeah, I think she'd just be go to whatever clerics you have. Stop your current mission. Go to whatever clerics you have and tell them that there is possessed clerics in the remnant room. Though, and only tell this to high clerics. Possessed remnants in the remnant room. The unpossessed are trying to get out. Understand that this is a situation that will need someone with the correct security protocols to try and do some sort of override and be able to manually pull people out instead of just leaving the door open or something.
Okay, I understand. Tell no one but the high clerics. I will have to lure them out of Sister Tail's meditation room.
You can tell Tail if you need to.
Okay, that will make it easier. I don't know if I mentioned, but after you headed down and Tinnitus started his preparations, Sister Tail went to the clerics and said she was taking the test, and she seemed to have been crying, maybe, and most of the high clerics are with her now, so I will get all of them.
Excellent. Great news. Thank you so much.
Of course. Goodbye.
Sarcastic necro-autism versus I don't know what sarcasm is.
Oh, that's so great. You're welcome. I'm glad I did a good job. Yeah, and she is off. You can probably call her and check in a little bit. Then May's sending stone has been ringing. Just answer really quickly. Do you think May picks up or not?
Absolutely not.
Does it even ring, or is May
down.
deactivated her sending stone? We'll jump to what May's doing in just a moment. I'm just getting a gut reaction about whether May answers or not, and the answer is no.
Two more things. Fish asks Rag through Brain, of course. How many times can you do that? Can you do the exorcism? per long rest.
The answer is once more.
We'll save that for someone who's really worth it. And then check in with Kakano. Hey pal, you on the trail?
You have the ability to see through Kekano's senses if you want to, like, use your turn essentially to try and help him, or check in with where he is. But he, if you don't do that, then he just reports back to you. Dad, I'm doing my best. There's a lot of twists and turns down here. I think I'm following May. I can hear some footsteps, but it's really hard to tell where they're coming from because there's all these like caves and stuff. I went down a dead end once, but I figured it out pretty fast. So then I came back, or maybe it wasn't a dead end. Maybe it was just like a different path that people take. But I don't think anybody's taken it for a while. So I've been going down this other path, and it's kind of hard because I can't really see. So I'm trying to find out where all the junctions are, and yeah, I'm on it, Dad.
You
Listen
hear
real
Kakano going.
hard and go towards the footsteps.
Okay, go and listen real hard and go towards the footsteps. You got it.
You hear Kakano going.
Be safe.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah. he keeps sliding over sharp rocks, and it's really bad.
He keeps
I
on
thought it was
bumping his head into walls, and
yeah.
he's not going through these ones.
Yeah. No, Kakano is definitely going to be kind of taking some time a little bit, which means that that now gets us to the end of our minute as the charmed condition starts to fade, and it is at this time when they do not have that spell. So, 2 shadow waves go, shadow spears rather, go at Brother Rain. Hit with a nat 20. And hit. While a tendril whips out of the shadows, wraps around Sister Rag's leg, and tries to drag her to the other end of the room, past the barrier into the remnants.
No! Fish
Isolating
like,
the one who
launches.
can stop her. Let's do a dexterity saving throw, Sister Rag. Big money, no whammies. That was a whammy. Okay. Sister Rag is wrapped around the ankle, slips her leg out from underneath her, and is dragged 5 feet over the barrier. Is close enough to the soul catcher still that remnants will have a little bit of a harder time getting to her, but she will be automatically dragged again next turn, and a remnant could still approach close enough to get her. It's just a lower chance. And with that, we probably want to roll initiative while I calculate this damage on Brother Rain. Let us see here. It's gonna be my d10s. Where are my d10s? There you are, d10s.
Let's have a look at what Blink says about things. I don't believe it specifies, so I'll ask. Can you take other people with you?
No, it is only yourself. There is a separate spell that allows you to kind of take people into the ethereal plane. But Blink is just you. Okay, that is 16 damage on the regular hit, and then that is... Could be worse. 26 damage on the crit. Rain takes a shadow spear into the hip, going into deep bone, and another one into the torso, potentially either puncturing or just missing puncturing a lung. He's in a bad way. He is not like on death's door yet, but God, did he just get messed up. All right. What did everyone roll for initiative?
2.
2?
Yeah, so that's 3.
Okay. What was that?
We're having a great day here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I leave a +1 in it. Let me double check. Yes, that is a total of 5.
Okay. Let's do.
Jamal gets a nat 20.
Yeah, let's do Jamal. Okay. Not stupendous, but compared to everyone else, well, but he does have a -2 to dexterity. Okay, that's still a 9.
Look, this is the first time Jamal has been in a fight with Cal for 2 years, and he's like, time to show what I've learned.
Yeah, no, it's true. Okay. At the top of the round is Rag and Rain, followed by the Remnants, then Jamal, Cal, and Fish. And with that, if you would like, you can enter. You can enter Owlbear. It's a very simple battle map this time because I've been busy. And
I
we
checked
will.
it during the week.
Really, you're trying to spy?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
And with
Why
that,
is Jamal a sack?
that is genuinely in the default tokens. That is for a commoner, which is the closest of any of the people here to Jamal's actual stats. So, yeah, Rag is here and is also prone and restrained. Boop. All right. With that, we will move over to May. May finds herself running out into the cave. Your dark vision, you see the passages passing by. You remember this area very well, is what you saw most recently. Where are you trying to go?
I think May is warring between literally hardcore fleeing and searching for like a passage maybe to the nearby ruins, and doing what non-possessed May would consider the right thing of going to actually get help. I was going to ask, can she hear Kekino at all?
At this point, no. This is we're doing this before Kekino blinks through the door. That's gonna happen in a little bit.
Yep. As she's running, is she seeing any more ancient symbols that mean anything to her?
Give me a history check.
Is she gonna get the repository at all?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know you have functionally expertise in the
That's
ancient
better.
language. One of the few ones who do.
Yeah, that's a nat 20, which brings it up to a 28.
Okay. As you're running through, you saw and were paying attention to most of these symbols as you got down here. Some of them are broken or chipped away, or clearly like were part of a larger message or larger kind of like magical construct that are no longer active, no longer exist. But with a nat 20, as you're running in away from the remnant chamber, there is two states of May right now. Physically, May is stressed. She's running. She's in fear, breathing heavy, paralyzed by choice and paranoia. And the other is the May who externalizes problems, who tries to make sense of things, tries to calm herself down by thinking through problems. And as you try to focus on these symbols as you're running through, something about leaving the remnant chamber rather than going towards it makes sense to you. And in the back of your mind, you're kind of piecing it together and wondering why. It seems like the damage to the ancient writings is lesser the closer you are to the remnant chamber. And you can actually tell that kind of like flowing away from the chamber is like complete messages, systems, or things that started in the remnant chamber on the walls that you could see now flowing outwards into the passageways. Um, with a nat 20, um, there are some words that mean some things to you. A lot of the ancient language is functionally untranslated. People just have guesses, um, since it's rather pictographic. But you do notice a couple of words: um, trap, safety, um, power, king, ancient, just like a lot of small phrases that kind of like hint at something larger. And as you're running away, you realize that some of these like phrases, some of these structures are intact enough that if you poured magic into them, if you kind of jump started them with your own magic, there might be enough of like a lingering message for you to get some information. Like it's damaged, so you may not get the whole thing, but there might be enough cohesively together to get a part of something. And this is something that you probably kind of like realized on your way down, but you were like, yeah, we're going to deal with the remnants, and then I'm going to get, access to this place and I can study it in depth. And now you're kind of seeing it more in context while also running away. And it's a question of whether you want to slow down and stop for a moment to try to get something from this system, knowing that every moment you delay is a moment that your remnant friends could be coming after you to drag you into Jonas's power, but also, perhaps wanting an excuse to stop and try to think things through, something external to focus on, a problem to solve. It's up to you. What do you think?
I was thinking, uh, based on the symbols May sees, is it a reasonable thought that maybe she can learn something to help her friends?
You think that with a nat 20, you think that there is a possibility of the chamber having been built for a specific purpose. Will that purpose be something that is helpful to you? You can kind of like activate from the outside, maybe. You don't really know, but the possibility is certainly there. The
Okay. Look,
possibility that you could activate something that would help your friends.
yeah, just from a meta perspective, like this is I think an off-road that makes sense, or the start of one. So yeah, May is absolutely going to stop and shove some magic into it.
As you stop and lay your hand on this carving, you've taken a moment, still listening for sounds of pursuit, and you see this symbol chain, this phrase, kind of turn into a side hallway. So you kind of duck off the main path for just a moment, standing in sort of deeper darkness off the path, looking around as you press your hand against it and try to pour your magic into it. Not that one. As you start to disappear into something like a vision. You hear a crowd. You hear cheers. You hear proclamations. And you find yourself suddenly in the view of an observer, someone who was present, witnessing a crowning ceremony, maybe? A figure walks forward onto a dais. Looks human or human-like, but is... something about him strikes you as ethereal in a way that you can't quite put your finger on. And as he sits in the chair and the crown is placed upon his head, black veins start to flow through him as the crowd erupts in cheers for their new ruler. The image is broken and fragmented once again, and you feel rushes of violence, blood, bone, curses and screaming, and a figure being forced back into the throne room. New, fresh carvings on the walls, carvings you recognize in a much older form. A door being sealed as this king, now ragged and bloody, skin so full of a remnant that it has almost entirely turned him black. Screaming and snarling as the door is closed and a lock made of carved bone is inset into the walls and the power activated. And you find yourself back in your own body as the vision ends.
And there's no sense of the remnant being drawn out or anything. It was purely containment. Purely
containment, as far as you can tell from this fragment of a vision. Using your, with that nat 20, using your history knowledge, your knowledge of the remnants, you don't know whether this figure was like a ancient or a human king. You know the time period based on these symbols. This is kind of like later ancient writing, that this is more like War of the Ancients, or maybe not that long after the War of the Ancients. You try to piece together. You can tell that like a lot of time passed between the two main visions. You can't quite tell how much, but it seems like maybe a warlord or something who embraced a remnant, one of the originals that Jonas had let out and that failed him, using it to kind of carve out a kingdom of safety here in this land, and being possessed by a remnant tore through his own people, assumedly was a bad ruler, assumedly, and was sealed by his people in this throne room that is now the remnant containment room. And you realize that this association with remnants, with anger and hatred, with something being sealed and protected here, and especially with bones being used so heavily in the enchantment to seal, you think that may have been sort of an ancient progenitor to what happened here. The knowledge that bones kept an evil here eventually morphed into people bringing their loved ones here to be buried to this cave, hoping to strengthen the bond, perhaps in some way of ancestral memory, becoming so associated with darkness and death that the necromancers moved in. A sort of long stretch of history of cause and effect. And with the nat 20, it maybe even occurs to you that it's possible that somewhere in the library construct is bits of bone that were once a remnant possessed king. If that strikes your interest enough to try to figure out a mechanism to help people in the room, you can. Or it's like, that was really interesting. I'm now like more confident that the danger is sealed away for now.
I gotta be honest, Patrick, I'm really struggling with what to do here because as a player, I want us to all be back together sooner rather than later. Any input would be greatly appreciated.
Well, you wanted to potentially search for a way out, a hidden passage through here that ended up at the ancient ruins outside. Continuing to really like closely examine the symbols, maybe a way to do that. You also like smelled the musty smell of books and scrolls and such coming off of some side passages. So you know, kind of like generally speaking, where maybe the Forbidden Archive is. Maybe you can find information there. You may not have been the first one to figure this out. Maybe the necromancers did, and they've got records of like how this room works and how they adjusted it. Maybe you could really quickly try to find something to help, and maybe at that same time you want to find something that helps you. You're looking at this dark passageway and thinking about the mysteries hidden here, and perhaps realizing that you want to help your friends. Selfishness does not come supernaturally to May, but also like after you save them and things are no longer going tits up, you're never going to be allowed back here because something disastrous happened. That's it. You tried to help with the remnants, didn't work. They're not going to let you back down here. So you can try and find some things in the library as well that you yourself are looking for, with the assumption that even if you can't read it right now, maybe you can get the books out. And I think this is kind of the war that is going on with May right now, and with the remnant, selfishness versus a sort of selflessness, whether to move or to stay. You start to hear a little bit of movement in the dark around you. The remnant is pushing in one direction, not the band. So give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's not great. That's an 8.
Okay. With an 8, you feel you know that Callanfish are perhaps possessed by remnants, that Jonas wants something from them, that Cal is even maybe protected by this wolf creature that you've been hunting, Why would Jonas's remnants hurt those possessed by Jonas's remnants, or that Jonas needed? They're going to be fine. They're strong, first of all, but also doesn't have an interest in hurting them. Maybe the necromancers die, and that is a horrible shame. They knew the risks when they went into the remnant room, right? This is their job. But the others are going to be fine. There is less of a rush, less of an emergency to saving them. You think you've got a little time to research, to come up with a plan, maybe find some information that you want to find. And as sounds of movement in the darkness, you don't know if they got out, or it's one of the necromancers, or it's a remnant that escaped. You perhaps start to move on, trying to find the archive, get some of this more information.
All right.
You hear Pekina going, Mary, slow down.
You do genuinely, if you were not, if the remnant was not kind of influencing you to like be paranoid and be like sounds of pursuit rather than actually listening to it, it is like a, ow, ow, the wall. Oh, I gotta go slower. Hello. As Kekino bumps and slides his way through, trying to find where May is, trying to get help, as May runs further away. Give me a... yeah, actually, it'll be one of two checks. Give me a cartography check to try and remember the layout of it down here, which will give you like full navigational ability, or a perception check to try and like smell the dusty mustiness of books that you caught on the way down, of trying to figure out where like just the library is.
I'll do cartography. It gets me the same bonus, but I think that makes more sense.
Okay.
Not bad. That's a 25. Dirty though.
Okay. With a dirty 25, you...
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. With a dirty 25, you remember the path that you took, and you can get back to the entrance the way you came in, and you remember there being a kind of big branch, one to the left, one to the right, and you took the one to the left to go see the remnants. Good bet, at least some of the book chambers are to the right. That seems like a very natural kind of secondary pathway. You could tell it was really well traveled when you were going down the first time. You go through twists and turns. You avoid the dead ends and some of the double backs. And you find your way through the main tunnels to where you think the books start. As you're hustling in, probably, running still at this point, just trusting your dark vision to keep you from bumping into things, unlike Kekino, unfortunately, and trying to find your way back. You're, at a dead sprint trying to get through and find things. You come across a... it's a small chamber at first, but you can see other little chambers branching off from it. But a dark room with a single globe of light over the doorway, just enough to maybe if you grabbed a book, or at least a normal person grabbed a book and brought it to the entrance, you might kind of be able to angle into the light and read it. But clearly just a marker of some sort of some bookshelves and some books and scrolls. And right in front, right at the entrance, is a small wooden cabinet and a little altar construct of some kind with just the faceplate of a skull recessed into it. A little flame flickers in one of the eyes as you get like uh, the satellite Sanchez to search just what is in the forbidden section.
Okay, so May asks old Satsan for the symbol that she was like, oh my god, they're going to be after me now because I googled this at the library. That, and then also on I don't know, like just remnants in general.
Okay, remnants in general, and what was the other thing?
When she did the cheeky little Google library search, and all the cards like came up that went down.
Right, looking for the symbol. You you do that again, and just a single card comes up for that one book, the one that is said missing or destroyed for all the copies. But Sans can direct you to where they were shelved, and it's possible that there is a piece of it still left. And then you also get a bunch of cards coming up on remnants. You give me a investigation check, I think, with advantage. Hun, you are muted. Nobody can hear you.
Sorry,
I can
that's
hear
why
you
nobody
through
was
the wall.
listening to my joke. You search for remnants, and Sanchez goes, "The way you came, Queen."
Yeah, that way.
That's a 16 for investigation.
Okay. You are really quickly able to go like the effects of remnants on modern history, not relevant. The effects of remnant capture at McGillicuddy Reeks, not relevant. You're really quickly able to like sort out things that are like this is too recent or this is too speculative. You
So your
find
king has a bunch of remnants in him, and you need to lock him up.
yeah, exactly.
For
How
dummies.
to lock up king. You find with a 16 a couple of records that might have something helpful. I'm going to say choose between the destroyed secret society symbol thing or the remnants thing as the thing you focus on first, and we'll use that to determine how much you get of one or the other.
May
I
hears
fear
a
it's
little
gonna have to
voice.
be this. So go on.
Oh, I was gonna say May hears a little voices in her head going, "Remnants are stupid. Don't look at remnants. No, that's down."
You don't
Patrick, I
want
was
to look
also
up
gonna say, because she did see whichever the cleric's name do the exorcism. Is there anything that comes up about exorcism? I wanted to add that in. Sorry.
That is part of the remnant search, but with a
Okay, cool.
16,
No big.
it's kind of like you've isolated the records that are not relevant. Now you've got a bunch of records that are possibly relevant, but with a 16, it's not high enough to go that one. That's what I'm looking for. The banishment spell is probably in here somewhere. If they have a record of like what this room was used for and how that works, if they have a record of it, it's in here somewhere.
Okay.
You have found where they could be. It's just whether you can like get through it fast enough to actually find the information you need.
Yeah. I fear May's like selfish thing would be that she'll go for the symbol first, justifying it as, well, it's literally one thing. It'll take like 10 seconds to check.
Yep. When you get to the shelf, there is very clearly like a missing space. The books are like leaning against each other in a way of showing that something things have been removed. And with a 16, as you're searching through here, dark vision works interestingly because you see things in black and white. There's no color vision. And so everything is about contrasts. But when you search with, say, a lamp or a flame, you get deep shadows, things that obscure as much as they reveal. In the darkness, there is no shadows. So you see a little corner of something wedged way back behind these books in the empty space, something that was lost. As you go and reach out, you see a very small leather-bound book. As you pick it up, charcoal and dust fall out of it as it was burned. You open it and see
Oh, yeah.
what is left of this book. There is the title. There is the author's name, which was not in the search in the cards, and there is 3 what could charitably be described as pages, as they are really just like very small fragments of undestroyed paper. You, with a lot of work, may be able to piece together some information to get from these pages. Someone who's an expert like Jamal would be better at it than you. So you can contract a Jamal, or you can make sure Jamal survives, which wasn't a guarantee before. You don't know that Jonas has a reason to keep Jamal alive. Maybe he wants Cal to be happy. I don't know. And that's what you get.
May cats it and then like also very carefully, I don't know, puts it in a pocket or something.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the title and who's the author?
Both of these are written down on notes I don't currently have with me.
Oh.
So
they're not that important, is what I'm hearing.
No, they are
now,
important.
Anyway.
I just
Okay.
forgot to upload them to my internal wiki. There is the
Patrick wishing I hadn't asked, obviously.
The Secrets of the House is, I think, what I said the name of the book was.
Oh, yes, no, you're right. Yeah. So it is the actual same book. Cool.
It is the same book, or at least what's left of it after being destroyed. And you get the author, which you look at, it's a single name. So it's like, is that just a sorcerer name and they've just got one name, or is it a pseudonym, or what's going on? But that is definitely like a path you can start to track down, as well as information about, like, you may be able to, with an expert's help, figure out like, hey, was this printed somewhere, or was this handmade? Was this bound professionally, or was it done in the backwoods somewhere? Like, you might be able to use this object to find out what the next steps are, even though the information in it is almost entirely destroyed.
Cool. I guess May moves on to looking for remnant shit.
Okay. You move on to remnant shit, and I will roll a d6 to see what you come up with. Okay. You find a two books that are of interest to you in this moment, unless you want to spend more time here. You can choose to spend more time here, but this is like, snap, really quick, what can I grab off the shelves? First thing you get, flip through it, just see like not even speed read, like skim to see if words like stick out to you. You grab 2 books, flip through them really fast. One of them is a history of the remnants that, as you're flicking through really fast, you realize is maybe like 10% accurate. It's a lot of just like stories, things that are old. You realize that Jonas was locked away for a real fucking long time. The ancients are extinct. Any knowledge of the remnants is, 14th hand at least. You may actually have more knowledge about where remnants come from and their early influence than these experts who are keeping them. But as you flick into theories, there is a small chapter on stealing and containing remnants, which describes a room. It does not say this room in this temple. It says a room, but you recognize the description well enough to be like, this is probably the temple. A room has been found with carvings attributed to the ancients that seems to have a passive property of containing remnants within itself, including a system that pulls them to the throne. And the exact nature of it you don't really understand because it doesn't go into detail. You were in that room. If that system was active, it is operating at a much lower level than this book is implying it should. You're muted.
With May's understanding of how symbols work mechanically, is it reasonable to her, like, would she think that there's a way to activate it from outside, or would she be like, no, it has to be activated from inside?
With you have not thoroughly seen everything inside the room. It was mostly like very far away for you to examine like very closely, and there were other things going on. But with that, because of that that Nat 20 symbol check before, that a lot of the structure of that ancient magic wrapped around to the outside of the room, and you realize it makes sense to you as a place that trapped something for it to be controlled at least partially from the outside, from not having to go in with the thing you were trapping. You don't know what condition it's in. You don't know if you are capable of fixing it. But you do know that as an expert in ancient magic, you don't know that there's anybody else who could fix it if you can't. But it is possible to try and figure out how the system works from the outside and fix it in such a way that may be able to save your friends. Maybe in even an extreme case, be able to suck their remnants out of them. You might be able to save them entirely.
Okay.
But that's a risk. And the longer you stay around, the more likely you are for other clerics to find you, for other people to wander by, for the rest of the information you want to be locked away forever. Do you trust that Jonas is not going to harm your friends? And you can take a little longer, linger over some books, or try and make your escape? Or do you not quite trust Jonas that far, and you really want to be prioritizing helping your friends in this time? Help your friends escape his clutches.
Okay, so we all know that I am not the most, that I'm not the best at remembering details of the campaign. Could I do a little roll to see if May has the thought of anything else she should be looking up while she's here?
There's a number of things that various people were looking at. Well, you don't necessarily have a great memory. May does, so I don't think you need a roll for anything that like you or someone else in the party looked up in the library. If you want to try to do a roll for like things you forgot to research in the library or something like that, you can. But for things that you and other people looked up in the library, I think that you just remember because May would just remember.
Yeah, yeah.
There is the book Tinnitus is looking for, the binding and control of greater spirits. There is potential information about the Bargast, although that is, potentially more of an in-depth search because you don't have like this is the book that has this information in it. You are looking for maps of the Death Realm. And you are looking for ways into the Death Realm, both normal and not so normal, which includes like the travelogues and things like that. You are potentially looking for a way to protect yourself while you're in the realm of death because it kills you, even if you're going in there, as a really powerful cleric. You got to protect yourself in some ways. So, about traveling in the death realm, and that all can also include like dangers in the death realm and how to counter them and things like that. And then the last one that I think people researched was you found that there was a book by a crazy guy who wanted to be immortal, essentially like following around the Abomination and his legend to try to like become a new it, and that was locked away for being too dangerous, which may include something about like may have at least hints of like where the Abomination lives, who it is, where it comes from, what abilities it has, what it wants, things like that, because the librarian and the regent were, you think, too recent to have these kind of historical records. The Abomination has been around for quite a long time. But all of those things would take time while your friends are potentially dying, or not, because Jonas wants them for something. Maybe.
So I'm already going to have May go back to try and activate the system thing. My question is to the others, is there anything that you think could be a quick search that is worth looking at? Because, as Patrick's pointed out, there is no guarantee. I kind of think we will be, but it's not guaranteed that we'll be allowed back down here to have a look.
My one suggestion is Death Realm. Just something, a map.
Mooney? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, no, I think that is what everything else kind of became a bonus or became more significant the longer they were here. What they actually came was get in, get Elise, get out. So
get out. Yep.
I think that would be priority.
Okay, cool. Yeah, search for ways into the Death Realm. And if anything comes up with how to protect ourselves while we're in there, as in like stop us from immediately fucking, getting got, that'd be great.
What May would know from talking with Cal and the research the others are doing is you kind of have a priority order. You know how to get into the Death Realm, at least in a couple of ways. There's a lot of implications that there's other ways that you could, but you have found all of the like publicly known entrances, 3 of which are the Necropoli, and then there's like 4 other ones that are kind of like they're outside the necromancer's sphere of influence. Who knows if they're still like active, but they are like potential ways to physically enter. And you also got a little bit of like the creatures in the Death Realm and how to defend yourself against them. Nothing really like about how to survive, but you also know that it doesn't immediately kills you. It kills you over the course of like, 60 seconds to a couple hours, depending on like how strong you are. There are probably things to protect you beyond that, but you know that at least you probably won't die immediately. The main issue would be a problem is maps, because anything about navigating the Death Realm, where to go, and with the information you have, how to find Elise and like where she physically is and how to get to her is secret information that is not supposed to ever be outside the Necropoli, and they just have because they're cool like that. So it's like it's like number one priority is getting the maps, because if you can't, it's like, well, we've got to assault or sneak our way into one of the necropoli and hope we don't die.
Yeah, okay, maps it is.
Yeah. Okay. Give me an investigation check with advantage. You're going to be like, Sanchez, show me the map section, comma, death
Well, that was
realm.
a nat 20 on the first roll. So, yeah. So a natural 28.
You're
You're muted, Ink.
Ink, you're muted. Yeah.
I said I didn't doubt you for a second.
You have started to get the hang of how Sanchez works, as you as you you kind of push you push this image of what you're looking for into Sanchez's mind, and you kind of like you try to apply your researcher's knowledge to this necromantic construct. So you're like, Sanchez, maps. And it goes like, okay, maps are over here, and it's like Death Realm, alternate phrases, the Shadowfell, the Darkness Beyond.
Maybe it's Boolean.
It just immediately like overwhelms it with search terms. You got the and ors in the Boolean phrases here. You're finding everything, and the card catalogs are like opening, shutting, of being like, that search term brings in this one. Nope, that's not what you're looking for. Flick, 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 flick. Finally, you get a card, and the actual bones of the library are much less present here. They are like in little strips. Just kind of like in the ceiling or along the floor, almost like dominoes. You see a bunch of like toe bones stick up out of the ground and then fall over in like a wave. Instantly follow them out of the room into a side corridor. Open the big cabinet. Here's all the maps. Third from the top. Look over on the left. Pull it out. That's an original. That's an original. That's an original. Grab them. You're out. You
also May catch them as she looks at them and grabs them. Just in case, she has to return those maps.
You are grabbing all originals. There is reproductions here as well, but you don't necessarily have the arm space for it. So you just grab the first ones you get, looking at them really quickly. None of them are like complete. You don't know if there is like a complete map of the entire realm of death, but it's very clearly
May
like
be the first to make one.
Yeah, possibly. It's very clearly like, okay, here's the necropoli that goes in here, and then here's like a big radius around it of all the places they've explored there, and you're not looking at it for long enough to be like, the information Cal gave me says that Elise is here, but you're like, we can look at this, and we can find where Elise physically is, and we can probably get there, and as long as you have these maps, you can figure the rest out. And you are hustling out of there. As you rush out with your fragment of a book tucked safely away, with your maps in arm, you turn a corner heading out of the library, and you feel something. You almost see something. It looks like a figure steps out from the cavern in front of you, but then you look again, and that sense of motion is gone, and there's no one there. And you hear, "Well, May, it seems like you're in a real pickle."
Um,
Do you really think you can do this without your companions?
as May's hustling, Jonas is in the air, and May says, "Jonas, it's been a while. How are you?"
Oh, I'm well. Plans are progressing. You know how it is. Plots within
Of
plots.
Scheming,
Mm,
Machiavellian instincts, and the like. Yes.
Conniving. Even. Yes.
One could even say you're possessed of a certain low cunning.
Oh, I find it's very high cunning, but low cunning is not outside my wheelhouse.
Yes, I've rather gathered. Any reason for why you're dropping in?
Of course, May. I have a deal to offer you. You know, your friends, your companions, are in quite a bit of danger there. It is more the rhythm and the way James Spader talks, in specifically the Blacklist, that inspires Jonas. Not like a James Spader impression, but yeah. Your friends have found themselves rather deep in my power, and in such a dangerous situation. I know you think that I have control of these remnants, but I think if you'll recall, they broke away from me. Traitors. I don't speak for them, they decide for themselves. They may decide to consume friends of yours, but perhaps I can sway them if you help me.
Can May roll for insight? Is that something she can do against a voice in her head?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not great. That's a 7. The remnants whispering in your ear like, yeah, trust him.
Yeah. May is May, I think, suddenly realized that she was like running and talking to Jonas, and she is now like stopped in a side hall and like doesn't quite remember when she stopped to focus on this conversation. But no, you don't want to do what Jonas is offering. It's Jonas. But Jonas has never lied to you. Jonas has always been very honest about what Jonas wants. Jonas has never betrayed you in any way. If you do what Jonas asks, you're playing into Jonas's hands. But if you don't do what Jonas has asked, maybe you're playing into his hands then too. Everything that you choose to do always seems to end up working out for Jonas. You can't trust yourself with him. You can't know whether saying yes or no is the right idea. I offered you knowledge before, and I think with a little work, that knowledge is still accessible to you. And if you meet some acquaintances that may point you in a good direction to help the world, protect it from faceless ones, I promise to remove any remnants in Caligulus and Fish. And we'll throw in Jamal too. Why not?
Well, I would hardly be a good negotiator if I didn't first ask what you wanted of me.
I want you to do what you do best. Find some things that were lost a long time ago. Maybe even not meant to be found. Spend some time in libraries, reading books, questioning people, meeting others like you. Want to know the things you know. Learn more about the ancients and share that. I only want what you want, May. At least in this regard.
And you'll save them.
As I said, I will remove all remnants from them. I cannot promise that remnants not currently possessing them will leave them alone, nor other possessed people will not attack them, but I do have influence and power. And I can say that it is likely I will be able to protect them from outside forces. I've never lied to you, May. I've never double-dealed. I've never not kept my word. Is that not right?
Tell me what to do.
Good. I will be in contact. Soon you will meet others like you that will open doors you couldn't imagine. But until then, I will just take your word. You feel like a little bit of a pulling, and you hear, it's done. They are free of remnants. They're your friends once again. Go, return to them. If you wish to activate this device, that will of course make them even safer. Guarantee what I cannot, but I can perhaps guide you in that process as well.
I'd rather appreciate it. I suppose I'd better get moving.
Of course.
And May is gonna do exactly that. Hustle back, activate the thing, get him out, and not at all think too hard about what she just did.
As Jonas disappears into the back of the mind, you feel like he's pleased. And, of course, the logical May not being anywhere near the surface, never questioning the fact that the others don't have remnants in them, that Jonas got something for nothing. You hustle back. And as soon as Jonas starts to disappear, you hear another sound.
Hope you got this, Kekino.
Perhaps the remnants are free. Perhaps it's too late.
Ow! This is harder than I thought. May! Necromancer people! Beliala, I don't know if you're around here. Maybe. Collisionist? No, I know where Collisionist is. Other
May physically see
people?
him?
And turning a corner, very clearly blind, he keeps like stopping and starting, trying to like move really fast, and then like he's figured out a way where he kind of waves his flippers in front of him as he slides, so he kind of bounces off walls rather than slamming into them. Is Kekino.
Yeah. May is like relieved that it's just Kekino, but also like fuck, like so I mean the others are out. And comes to us and says, Kekino, where are the others?
What? May, are you there? I can smell you. I can't see you. It's dark. The others are. Oh, right. The others are in really bad danger, and they're with the bad remnants in the room, and I'm supposed to get help from you or from the necromancers and other people. Do you know the way back to the room? Because I sure don't.
I certainly do. And I actually have a plan. And May is going to stoop down and pick Kekino up.
Okay.
And yeah, hurry onwards.
Okay. I could, I guess, keep going to warn the necromancers, but I don't know where I'm going, so this is probably best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we have what May is doing. So while all this was happening, we will jump back into combat to make sure that our players are alive to be found. As we disappear from the cave. Back into combat. And if you will jump in, Owlbear.
I'm in there the whole time, just staring at it.
Yeah. Okay, we got May. It doesn't look like Mooney is in.
Hold on. iPad's being funny.
The fucking sack does me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a commoner.
He's just some guy.
He's just some guy.
Jonas is like, and I'll help your friends, and the sack.
And the other one.
Yeah. I will save your friends. And also Jamal, I guess, as a freebie. Sign up in the next 10 seconds and I'll also save Jamal. This offer expires.
You've given him a battle icon before.
I have, and I have his icon somewhere, and I realize I haven't uploaded it to either I haven't uploaded it to Owlbear, or I deleted it at some point, or it's just in a place where I'm not seeing.
Now he gets to be a sack. He's in his Sunny Baudelaire era.
Oh, actually, I found it. I had it hidden in season 1 stuff. Old Jamal art. Sack no longer. He is a man.
It's free. It's free.
All right. At the top of the round, we have Rain and Rag with the remnants and their possessed people on deck.
Hey, did you deliberately pick Oz?
I deliberately picked Rain. I found Rag and liked it, and then did a bunch of other names and kind of didn't decide who would be important until you all were talking to them. So yes and no.
Gotcha.
I know the name of a bunch of other high clerics that just have not talking to, like Sister Picard and Brother Saya.
I like how you have arranged the icons so Jamal is looking at Calf entirely by accident because you had the sack there.
Yeah.
Also, accurate height difference.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamal was fiddling with the door last we left him. Rain just got stabbed. So let me get his spells out here. He is going to first break the reinforcement he's doing on the protective line here to hustle over and grab Rag and use his action to give her advantage on the saving throw, her next saving throw to get out.
And then he is going to just shadow wave into the darkness to try to hopefully catch somebody or, clear space from the remnants. And let's see. I will roll, even if someone is not there, to make a saving throw. Because if they would there, I don't want you to know that. And if they're not there, I don't want you to know that either. Okay. All right. Okay. You don't know what, if anything, happens. But the wave of remnants seems to kind of like buckle and flicker around this big wave of shadows. He shoots out and gives you for just a moment a little bit more of a glimpse, a lightening of the fog of remnants before it closes again. So you do think that you can like disrupt the remnant cloud enough to be able to see into it, at least temporarily.
Can Fish no longer see into it with Eldritch Sight?
It is like each individual remnant is making themselves visible and flying around. Essentially,
Yes.
you are looking at
It's fog.
A fog. It's a solid wall of remnant in a way. That means your Eldritch Sight is not inherently more helpful. Although it does, do a certain amount for like how dark it is in this room. You're not being blocked by shadows. You can see the remnants. It's just they're like physically blocking you from seeing deeper in. And then we have Rag have to make a dexterity saving throw to try to escape from the restraint before being dragged deeper in. Does that with advantage, with Rain trying to grab onto her. Okay. That was low, but might be just high enough. It is not just high enough. She, even with advantage, got a 14, which is not quite high enough. And since that was her turn, we get to the Remnant's turn. First thing is Cleric Tarsandon, who this shadow is originating from, is going to automatically yank her closer past the border, and
Fuck. That's Fish.
The remnants are going to surge forward to try to get to her. Not quite getting to her yet on this turn, but is going to be able to make a possession check with disadvantage. Rag looks at Rain. She brings daggers out of holsters, infused black metal of her necromantic objects, and tries to stab them down into the ground to hold herself. She's dragged into the darkness, looking at Brother Rain. And then you see his eyes shift for just a minute. Oh. As Fish sees a tendril of energy come out of the shadows, touch around her ankle where it's bound by the shadows, and dive into her skin as black starts to run through her veins.
Oh man. And this is a great moment, but I must correct you, they do have to enter through the mouth.
They do have to enter through the mouth?
Yes.
What if there was like a cut? I feel like they could enter through the cut. Okay. It climbs up, it's in her scalp and on her face, and is just entering her mouth. You can see like
tatters of it like flying off, almost getting sucked into the soul catcher that's right there, and it just like deeper in.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what happens at the top of the Remnant's turn. Let's do the rest of Remnants, and then we've got Jamal on deck. People move that you cannot see. And then we will get a 2 shadow spears on 2 shadow spears on Rain, probably, because he is he just tried to save Rag, and they're trying to make some space. Have advantage as they attack from hiding. That is a miss. And that is a hit. Okay. Rain takes an additional 14 damage. Is pretty fucked up now. He is trying to get to his feet as he tries to get into a better position to grab Rag, seemingly willing to risk kind of reaching across the barrier. And he like instantly coughs up a big hawking mouthful of blood as he dives out of the way and gets slashed at by another shadow spear. He's not doing so hot. Then we have Brother Astura, who is in handcuffs. So he is going to do this. Then Persanda needs to do that to maintain hold on Rag, but can also do a Shadow Spear because that's a bonus action. Okay. That one is probably going to go to Fish, just because Fish is witnessing this and kind of probably running forward. The soul catchers, being magical constructs, are kind of hard to destroy. They are not like the weakness here. Being able to get past them is probably easier than breaking them.
Way to go, damaging your potential vessels, is my thought.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If they get out, the vessels will heal. If they don't get out, it doesn't matter. That is a 21 to hit Fish, which hits. So let's roll damage.
Patrick, I've been watching... well, Patrick knows, but for the class, I've been rewatching Fantasy High, and I was just watching an episode where there are several characters, and they're level 4 with, like, an 18 AC, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck?
That's actually very easy to do, depending on the class that you choose. That's why...
Preston had an 18 AC! How did that happen?
Most likely gave her plate armor from the beginning. If you're certain types of clerics, you can get it from the start. Sinner wears almost no armor, and I think has an AC of 16, which means that if he put on armor, he could just be like a tank with an AC 20, but I don't think he has the proficiency for it.
I like the idea that Sinner's like, that makes me look like a dork.
That makes me look like a dork. It's mostly he's like, I can't move, I can't punch, I'm so loud, I'm clanking everywhere. The armor just doesn't fit. They're not made for someone of my mass. I do the muscles and just like all the straps break and it starts to fall off.
Oh man, it would be really great if you had a power that could make yourself less big then.
He does actually do more damage when he's big.
I know, but
Yeah. It's a trade-off. That is 13 necromantic damage to Fish from that
Oh.
shadow spear, and because you see the direction it shoots out, let me get a marking thing. It shoots out. No. From this direction, so you have a general idea of where potentially people are. If you are gonna do like, try and hit somebody or do like an area of effect or something like that.
I was gonna say Fish's first Shadow Sphere, but I'm pretty sure Cal has Shadow Speared them before.
yes, she has. She has.
He's like, it's not hot this way. This doesn't feel good.
This
that
one was
is-
actually in battle and not part of the narrative.
Yeah. That is Jamal with Cal on deck. Let me
We're rooting for
do.
you, baby.
Let's do an investigation check for my baby boy. Try to find a slot to get this paper into. I mean, that's okay. He finds a little piece where the seal is not quite as good because the ground underneath it is a little damaged. That might have actually been because of May, just a slight ripple caused by her magic. He manages to stick a piece of paper in there and then uses his action. The paper starts to fold on itself once, twice, up to 9 times, becoming almost solid as steel as it gets like bigger and bigger and starts to like crack and wedge the door open. He would have to be at it for a little while, maybe add a couple more pieces of paper, but he's got more room now. He may actually be able to eventually leverage this door off. As he is focusing on that and looks over his shoulder in fear as he watches Rag get dragged off and Fish get hit. That is Cal with Fish on deck.
I think Jamal has a pretty good idea. Let's attack the door.
Okay. You give me a perception check on the door.
Yeah. Better. It's stronger than the table. I don't know why, but I have been having trouble getting my phone to charge today. That's why I keep going over your bed.
You might have lint in the charging port, or it's Jonas or Remnant.
In the charging port?
Yeah.
You can only come in through the mouth. Obviously. What is a charging port but a phone mouth? I'm not crazy for saying this.
What is a charging port but a phone mouth? A phone pussy. Come on.
It's
Can
cars.
Remnant get in that way? That's the question. Is it just any orifice?
Listen.
Anyway, the perception check's a 17.
Okay.
I'll tweet Landy about it and ask
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't.
Unfortunately, you might get an answer, and
Yeah,
that's probably
That's
worse
the
than not.
thing.
I don't think there would be an answer he could give that wouldn't be disappointing or gross in some way. Because either he didn't think about it, or the answer's yes, and he's thought about it. What was that, a 17 you said for the perception check?
Yeah. I like that the alternative to removing a remnant is instead of like.
You can get it
be
out.
careful.
You can get it out with divine sex. That's
No, I
the
was
pick.
gonna say, instead of Darkhands ripping out Tanith's remnant while, like, reaching an arm down her throat, she just gives her a remnant pap smear.
Jesus. What was your perception check, hon?
17.
13?
17.
17. Okay. You remember about where the lock was from your way in, and as
As Jamal kind of leverages up, you see light start to go in a little bit through the top of the doorway, but none through the bottom, potentially meaning it's blocked. You can aim for the bottom or the lock. If you roll with disadvantage, it will do significantly more damage by hitting one of those two areas that are like sealing the door. And if with disadvantage, if the higher one still hits, I'll give you half damage.
Okay. Hold on. Can you give me that one more time?
If you roll your attack roll with disadvantage,
yeah,
on the door, I will give you double damage if you hit with disadvantage. And if you don't hit with disadvantage, but the higher roll still would have hit, I'll give you half damage.
An alternative is...
It's just attacking it normally, getting no disadvantage or advantage, and just rolling your full damage.
Okay. So... There's not really a disadvantage of doing it twice, because it's like, if I get a low roll once, oh well. And if I get 2 low rolls, it's like, well, that wouldn't have fucking mattered anyways. Alright. First one... Oh, well, that's pretty good. And would I'd be still adding my spell attack bonus skill, right?
Correct.
Okay, first one's a 26.
Okay. Definitely hits, but that was not with disadvantage, right?
Yeah, second one is a 20.
Okay. As you run up next to Jamal, struggling to control this paper that is slowly like growing and morphing and folding, and just squeal this door off the hinges. You throw shadow spears into the corners and try to add your own leverage. The steel itself, or whatever metal it is, seems very resistant to like magical attacks in a way. It seems to not quite dent or harm it as much as you're expecting, but you did absolutely do damage, and you can see some of the like door frame around it shatter a little bit. So between you and Jamal, you are absolutely kind of making progress in getting the door open and getting out of here.
And I just need it open a tiny, tiny percentage. Enough for me to see. Okay.
There is not even enough open yet for you to like put an eye to it and see outside. You're just starting to get like a little bit of light through one of the cracks.
And so I'm thinking, get Jamal out, try to get Fish out, get myself out. Anybody else who can get out, that's great. I don't really care. It's getting the 3 of us out, hopefully, and then sealing the door back up, and then coming in with every high cleric in the temple.
Mm-hmm. It's the kind of thing.
Nobody's gonna be killing themselves with a remnant. You know what I mean? There's no remnant that's gonna be like, I'm gonna stab myself.
Yeah.
So like, if they hang out for a while, who fucking cares?
The only real danger is not having witnesses that the clerics trust. So it's not like, somebody shoved us into the remnants because they were trying to take over the library or something.
And Cal would be like, if you want to handcuff all of us and not have us for reinforcements or have us sit out, go nuts. That's a stupid idea, but I'll do it, just if you don't think I'm trustworthy.
Yep. Then that brings us to Fish's turn with the top of the round. Yeah.
I didn't do any like bonus action or anything like that?
You did 2 attacks.
Oh, you were just reflavoring those?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, you can still move if you want, but...
No, I think that's probably good. I just wanted to be like, hold on.
Yep. That is Fish's turn with the top of the round, and now just Rain on deck.
Okay. He was going to start to reach for Rag, but Fish isn't going to let that happen. They go over to him and to drag him back. And simultaneously, we're doing Wither and Bloom for the first time, which is a cantrip to heal him and his white ass.
Cal goes, I don't have that as a cantrip. What the fuck?
And Fish is like, no, you gave it to me as a cantrip, sorry. So he must make a con saving throw, or wait. How does the heal work?
Do you want me to read my spell card?
Rain can roll a hit die to restore it, plus your spell casting ability modifier, which is +4.
Yes.
Roll a d10 +4 and heal that much. And each creature of your choice in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. Let's see if there's anything within 10 feet. I'm going to say absolutely not, because that's not very much. Nope.
Yeah, it's just healing him.
You could actually do it on Rag if you want to just punish her for being taken over by the enemy.
Is she hurt?
Not yet, no. Oh,
Well then no.
she is mildly hurt. No, I mean you can do damage to her.
No, I don't want to. I'd like to heal her, if anything.
Okay. She has like no, actually she doesn't get damage. Yeah, she's a perfect health. Okay. Yeah. Then let me roll
Damage
for
Jamal. No.
Rain. Yeah, you do it against Jamal.
Yeah, you attack Jamal and be like, "Oh, sorry, with the lighting, I thought I
Exactly.
saw the vein. Sorry."
Oh my god. Nice. Okay. Rain heals 12 health.
Okay, that is good.
That
And,
is getting him out of the very dangerous area and into the dangerous area.
Okay, and how far can we drag him back?
Give me an athletics check.
A nat 1.
A nat 1? Not at all. You end up actually getting moved a little bit forward as you try to grab him, and he just pulls you, and you have to like sit on him to keep him from moving forward into that grab. You just fully have to like you have to like dead hang like a cat on him to keep him from moving forward at all.
Oh my god. So yeah, they come over and they're like, "Here, I got you. Don't worry." Oh fuck!
You're fully like off your feet, just like arms around his waist, just trying to. No, I got you. Stop moving.
And you know what? Fuck it. They crack it quick. This isn't how I envisioned this part.
All right, that is Fish's turn, and it is now Rain. Rain is going to try to push you off. Just get off him. He is a necromancer and therefore does not lift weights, and so just kind of like tries to flop you to the side, and you're like, nope, not getting rid of me. So then he kind of sets his feet, and he is going to do a I just want to make sure that this spell he gets to choose. He gets to choose who it affects. Because if he does not, I do not want it to do that because I don't want to hurt you. Yep. There it is. Okay. All right. He sees. There is one buff necromancer, and you don't like her because it is Cleric Oz. You see Rain set his feet, pull his arms back, make eye contact with Rag as the last kind of light goes out of them, and as the veins reach her eyes and her face, and she is fully taken over, and only you are close enough to hear him say, "I'm sorry," before he unleashes an attack that includes her and the whole room. They are willing to sacrifice each other if it keeps the remnants sealed. So let us do this. Is that? It's actually 30 feet. So I'm going to do that back slightly. Okay, cool. As he unleashes a huge wave of shadows, a shadow wave on the professional weightlifter level of steroids. Just the entire room, everything you can see is overwhelmed by a wave of shadows, and you can feel the ground rumble as spikes of shadows come out of the wave and dig into the ground and the earth, very carefully unleashing it kind of over the line to not destroy that, but going after the remnants in these shadows, and everybody who gets hit by it is going to have to make a Constitution saving throw, which is not something that necromancers usually prioritize, so this will be interesting. It will be a secret number of dice, which will be this one and this one. Fail, 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 fail. 4 fails. All right. You watch as the remnants are blown back and disturbed. And for just a moment, you get a glimpse up to the area that he attacked. As Rag, Astora, Tarsandin, and Cleric Mook number 1 all take full damage, since they all failed. That is 10d6 necrotic damage and they're all knocked prone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more d6s, 9, 10. Big spell. Big spell. Okay. All of those 4 take 37 points of damage and are knocked prone. He cannot do that very many times. But you know what? You do what you can. Tarsandin automatically loses concentration on the spell holding rag. Not that it matters. Astora is prone. Cleric 1 is prone. Tarsandin is prone. You see, just like as the wave goes and the remnants are blown back, this crashing, thundering wave, seemingly made of spikes, that just like pierces through them as it hits it all to the ground. And yes, that was a 5 spell pointer. Good guess. Let me write that down real fast. Cleric 1 is struggling to sit up. You can see that he has an arm missing, and you can see a decent chunk of his intestines and is bleeding both blood and black smoke. He is on death's door. Tarsandin looks fairly messed up. Astora looks pretty messed up. Math. All right. That is Brother Rain's turn. Helpful to keep him alive because he's strong, but he does not have a lot of health. So that was a good move by Fish. And now it is the Remnants' turn. They're all going to use 50% of their movement to stand up. Cleric 1 fully has to push a hand to keep organs in place and sprints into the shadows away from you guys. Uses full movement to get the hell away from you, because otherwise the remnant in him is going to die. This moves over here, which you can't see. Rag wants to get away from the soul catchers. Stora wants to back up, be out of sight. Tarsandin wants to back up and be out of sight. And Rag is going to look at Fish and Rain, pulling out still her necromantic object daggers, and is going to throw them at you. 1-2. 2 attack rolls. 1 on Fish, 1 on Rain. Miss and miss as they fly past you and end up back here somewhere. They don't quite have the oomph to get to challenge them all or be a danger to them. And she's gonna back up a little bit more. Then we've got Shadow Spear, and Darkness. Yes, Shadow Spear's first. Advantage, first on Rain. Wow. Fucking suck it, Cleric 2. You are bad. And, of course, Tarsandin gets a nat 20 on Fish. That is 20...
Last episode, she discovered the power of sex toys. She doesn't need Fish anymore.
She doesn't need Fish anymore. It's true. You know what? She's like, yeah, I'm good. Don't need to put up with this.
Fish is like, who are you?
That is a hot 33 points of damage.
Holy moly.
It's a nat 20.
3. Okay, we're -7. Fish is down.
Is down. All right. Fish is down and incapacitated. Slumps off Rain. Rain kind of stumbles for a moment because he was bracing himself against your body weight around his hips. Yeah, that is that. Attack on Rain misses, and then the darkness spell goes off around Rain and Fish. Boop. Cannot see.
Oh, don't worry, I wasn't seeing anyway.
Yep. But good luck, whoever tries to rescue you. And then I need to put concentration on Astora. And that is Jamal with Cal on deck. Jamal is understandably concerned. Fish just went down. He turns to Cal and says, I think I can maybe, hopefully, wedge it open. Can you buy me more time, or should I buy you more time? Or
I keep on working the door. I'm going to try and extract as many people as possible. With the spell, I don't know how easily I'll be able to get to Fish.
Okay. Okay. You got this. It's just a
Rain's still up, right?
Rain is still up. Not with a ton of health, but is a little bit safer because he cannot be directly targeted with attacks that just threaten him. Darkness is kind of a double-edged sword that way.
How wide is darkness again?
It was cast to be 15 feet wide because I didn't want to get you all in it, I think. Maybe that should be wider. I'm now rethinking darkness. Maybe
No,
we
this
do bigger
size is
dark-
fine.
Maybe we do bigger darkness. Maybe we do bigger darkness.
Okay.
I like it how it is.
No, that is the right size. Okay.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, because I was thinking that Rain can, like, shove Fish out of the, thing. I love to imagine Rain can, like, grab Fish by the elbows and spin around and then throw him like the little girl in Matilda, but...
No necromancer can do that, not even us.
Yeah, no necromancer can do that because they
I
don't
love
live.
the idea of us being,
Trunchable.
Trunchbull,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yes.
That is like what she looks like physically. You know, she is very much like
Oh, yeah.
built like a brick shit house. She's got that that shot put body.
Hammer throw.
Yeah, I mean it's hammer throw, but I mean that's the body type is shot put.
Understood.
Yeah, Jamal is going to work on the door. He is going to use his spell points. And he wedges it open a little further. You're starting to see now just a little bit of light at the bottom. Hard to tell kind of directly how it's coming from. Cal still cannot see a way kind of through. You can't see any of the hallway beyond. Okay, that is Cal's turn with Fish's death saving throw on deck.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Let me grab my... Sorry, I was working. Let me look at my iPad so I can see how far away we are. Obviously, I know that she doesn't
That's one
know
of the
exactly where
reasons,
Fish is. But...
It's also, this door is supposed to be a seal to remnants. It's not easily removed.
Also, I was steaming and it upset Pepper.
Oh, that's sad. He's in this team all the time because he joins me for showers.
Well, he didn't like the noise, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pepper has started to do a bizarre thing where he runs into the bathroom when I'm about to take a shower so that he can just sit on the toilet and stare at me in concern that I'm willingly getting myself wet. Like he needs to witness or the water is gonna melt me.
Okay. Shinobi is always in the bathroom with me because he wants to drink from the tap.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that I cannot make my ruler work because the darkness affects it as well. Well, Cal still has death sense. She would like to death sense for Fish's finger bone.
All right. Well done. Get your death sense all set. You feel like Fish is here.
I'm assuming you're marking this, but it just feels very anticlimactic. Here, blackness.
I'm marking it so I can do this. Nope. Nope. No. There we go. No! Fog already exists here. Okay, fine. Sure. Cut. No. Doesn't work properly. There. You can tell where Fish is. You are going to have trouble like finding him exactly. You can get to the right spot, but you're still going to have to blindly feel around for where their body is.
Okay.
But you do know, you have a sense of where they are.
Okay. I'm kind of like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I was thinking Cal would be like, I'm just gonna grab Fish and then you do the whatchamacallit, spare the dying, yeah, and then drag them back out. Which the only disadvantage I see of that is taking an attack of opportunity.
Listen, they'll be fine. Leave them there for a second.
Yeah, the player says that. I don't think Cal feels that in a strong way.
You wouldn't take an attack of opportunity from anywhere.
No? Then there's no reason not to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The question is, do you want to do spare the dying or fully heal Fish so Fish actually?
Oh right, I forgot it can do both. Yeah, let's do that. I have full spell points for fucking once. Didn't waste them in role playing for once.
They're not wasted. Okay, you rush into the darkness. You gotta feel around quite a bit, but you get
touches Fish on the chest, and then Fish unconscious goes, nice.
And Fish is back up, depending on what.
Oh yeah, let me actually
do
that.
She does literally grope blindly. Like, she's got a sense of where the finger bone is specifically, but it's like, okay, that's probably chest. And it's like here, and you get like knee, and then like here.
I'm sorry to ruin this. I'm sorry to ruin this, but one of their earrings is bone, so like it's like, well, that's the side of their head.
Okay.
Like, you'd be able to tell that, probably.
I'm more saying that, like, depth perception is really hard with senses that are not sight. It's really easy to kind of overshoot and undershoot. But, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just trying to figure out what I want to do here. Okay, because I've got... No, I need to save a lot for for potential shadow walks for other people, my non-necros, Jamal and Fish. Yeah, so we'll do a cure wound. So 1d8 plus spellcasting modifier.
Okay, roll that 1d8.
Beep, 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 beep. Cool. Oh, I forgot, Patrick. This says at higher levels, the healing increases by 1d8 for each spell point beyond the. Oh, that's if I added to it. Never mind.
You can spend more on it if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that's not bad. That's 14.
Okay.
That's like half of Fish's health points.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you get a 14 on
I rolled a
1d8?
7, and my Oh, I'm so sorry. I did my spell attack bonus. 10.
Okay.
Keeping me honest.
All right. Do you...
And even though it's darkness, Fish knows through connection magic and recognizing her signature that it's her. And so they're like, thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, and then Cal, you use the rest of her movement to kind of push Fish back out with her.
Okay. You want to kind of help Fish get out then?
Yeah, and actually, no, Fish is conscious, so they would probably be like, no, let me stay. Yeah. No, so Cal would be kind of like healing them, helping them up, and then I think probably like start to drag them out, and I'm assuming Fish would be like, no, I want to be in the darkness.
Okay. Do you leave Fish there, use the rest of your movement to get out of the darkness, or do you stay in there?
It depends on what Fish says.
Oh, they go, oh yeah, thanks, Danielle. Rain, you still there?
Yes.
I'll stick with you. Get the door open.
All right. Let's get them go. Strolls back over the darkness, uses as much movement as she can to get back to the door. That was her action. Her full movement, I think, is getting in the darkness and getting out.
Technically, you'd be here.
Yeah, Rennie, for a bonus action, I will can I use I know we flavored it differently. Can I use a shadow wave on the door? How's the door feel about wisdom saving throws?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's psychic damage. Psychic damage does not work on objects, I'm afraid.
Well, you flavored it for me differently so that I could do an attack and a bonus attack using Shadow Spear last time, so...
Yeah, we'll say that was a one-time thing.
Oh, okay. When it was convenient for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Cure Wounds is an attack.
You could try to use a bonus action to hide, just so that if darkness drops, the remnants won't be able to see you immediately.
Is there anything I would be able to do with... I was going to say Mage Hand, but that's also technically an action. Maybe Virtue? Is Virtue a bonus action? Nope. Yeah, fine. I don't really have any other choice. I'll hide.
Okay.
Pull up some shadows.
Roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Roll me a stealth check.
I think that's 20. No, I went up. Yeah, that's 22.
Okay. 22. That brings us to Fish's turn with the top of the round and Rain on deck. First for Fish, as you go down, you find yourself in a vision. You're looking out through Henry's eyes again, and you find yourself back in the diner. You're
anxious. You don't really know why, but you are. And you're fiddling with something in your hands. Look down. You see a little bottle with a little note on it. It's for a prescription. You see it is a prescription for schizophrenia. And it is filled a while ago and does not look like these have been taken that much. Just kind of juggle it in your hands a little bit. Henry's thumb is over his last name. Kind of scooches it back just a little bit. Look at the first part of his last name. Mal. Spanish for bad, evil, misfortune. Seems right. As you start to feel this, it's been happening more and more, this twitch, this ache, this buzz inside of you. Something is going to happen. You're going to have an episode and you need to do something about it right now. And he's not here yet. He's not here yet. So you just have to get someone else. You turn, you look around, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this, but there is a woman you recognize. You don't know her name. You think you know her family, but she's with her daughter here, and they're eating some French fries. And you turn, and your voice doesn't seem to match your mood as you say, "Oh, hey, Mrs. S, didn't you want to give me a French fry?" And you feel something leave you as a woman says, "Oh, of course, Henry," and with a blank look but a smile turns and gives you a bunch of French fries, and you feel this buzzing fade. Not a ton, just a little bit. You know, you've really got to push with whatever power this is in order to relieve this. And the bell jingles as someone walks in the door. You turn, expecting money. You're selling your prescription to somebody. But that's not who comes in. It's one of the cops is looking at you. Another's coming in through the side door. One's watching through the window. They're coming at you and they're pulling out handcuffs. Thanks, Denier. As you're pulled out of the vision and wake back up alive and ready to hopefully survive this to figure out what was happening.
It's my turn.
It's your turn.
Thanks, Denier. Stick with you, Rain. Fish stands there for a second. And it's like, no, I need to know more than that, actually. and does life transference on Rain, hopefully enough to kill them.
What the fuck?
She doesn't see it. She doesn't have to know.
Yeah, it is entirely invisible in the darkness. Okay. What do you roll for life transference?
You can
take-
upcast it to try and.
No, look, I think it'll do it on its own.
Okay.
Is the thing.
You have 10 hit points, and it is 3d8, so statistically likely, but by no means guaranteed.
I just want to. Let's just go. Let's go for it. Okay, 3d8. And Rain is going to get twice whatever the damage is. Yeah, no, so, okay. Hold on, I'm learning to count. 16 damage.
Okay. You are down again as Rain gets 32 points of healing.
Yeah, and like their thought is specifically is like, nah, take me back there. I need to see more of that actually.
Okay. You feel almost like a doubling in your vision, you and Henry's, as you pass out, reach the verge of death, and find this connection again. And with Fish downed once again, but Rain looking pretty good, that no one can see because Rain is also in darkness. That
just goes, what happened? And Rain's like, I don't really know.
I don't know. I feel really good, and then both of you feel like get death sense, and someone dies behind you.
And Fish goes,
Fish, you still with me, buddy?
Kakano is just like sensing this, and it's like, Dad. Dad?
Everything's fine. I'm learning information.
With it is now the top of the round.
The funniest thing about this is the idea of Fish being like, oh, the memory faded on its own. Then yeah, heal me and send me back. It only activates when I die. It's like putting quarters in the machine.
Yeah, pull me out of it. All right, that is Rain's turn. I am going to do a perception check with disadvantage for Rain. That's not good.
Rain does an inside check. This guy really wants to fuck you.
Yeah.
They did just randomly kill themselves, though.
Mm-hmm. Rain does this, goes over here, does that, and then is going to do. Yeah, is just gonna throw out two shadow waves to kind of distract the others and keep them away because he can't actually see who he's attacking. But I think Rag is close enough to get caught by that. So let's have her do this. Yep, she succeeds, kind of ducks out of the way. And then Rain is gonna do that. Once again, nobody can see it. That is now going to be the Remnants with Jamal on deck. Although nobody can see it because darkness is entirely blocking everything. The Remnant fog rolls up and moves forward. People move in various ways, in various spaces. And then Rag is going to be over here. as Cal has just run out of the shadows after healing Fish, and feels Fish die again immediately. As you turn from Jamal, being like, "What the fuck?" There are daggers that skittered to near your feet, thrown by Rag, and they start to jump and move, and then flip off the ground and fly point first directly into the darkness. That is 2 hits as they stab Rain in the back. And that is sneak attack damage. So let's see. I'm gonna do this and this. Okay. This. Okay, that is 20 damage to Rain as these daggers sink into his back. And then Rag is going to use knowing where the daggers are to disable the disadvantage from not being able to see Rain for a big shadow spear. Again, because she's hiding. Still a miss. Rain is able to duck out of the way as Cal just sees like the point of a shadow spear stab out of the darkness and then retract back in, not seeing if it hit anyone, not seeing what damage it did. Nothing like that. And then. Going to have this is different just due to the fact that you cannot see past the shadows. This is blocked. Okay. All right. Cool. And then also that happens. Bunch of things people can't see, but I can. That is Jamal with Cal on deck. Fish, once again being dead, but Jamal doesn't know that. He's gonna force the door open more. Spell point. The door is starting to like banana a little bit for Cal. You think you've got maybe one more turn of hard leveraging to get it open enough that you can get a view. More light is definitely coming in, and the frame around it is starting to crumble a little bit as Jamal keeps working on that. That is Cal with Fish on deck. Fish just killed themselves again.
Cal goes, Fish? Fish? Fish, this isn't funny. Fish! God fuck. And I think, does, Rain say anything?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 12. Yeah, 12.
Okay. You hear sounds of movement, but you don't hear Rain respond. Rain does not respond verbally in any way you can hear.
Cal says in English, in a whisper to Jamal, like, I don't know, maybe Cleric Rain killed Fish.
Do you think that would happen? I mean, Fish is pretty annoying.
It's really annoying. I don't know. Maybe they got possessed. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to kill Fish. It's not surprising. There's a shadow spear on the door because I don't just want to get involved in that mess right this minute.
Okay. Not gonna heal Fish again then. Give me an attack roll. And you still have the option of doing the disadvantage to potentially do more.
And the disadvantage would count as my action, a bonus action?
No, just as your action.
Okay.
You chose to roll separately to do 2 separate rolls for some reason last time, even though I didn't ask you to.
What? No,
Yeah,
I
you didn't
rolled
roll with
twice.
disadvantages.
And I was doing that advantage or disadvantage.
Oh. You can't roll once and then say, I'm now deciding to do it with disadvantage. You gotta
That's
say
what I
it
was
before you
saying.
do it.
No, I
Alright,
decided.
I
okay, I'll do it
misunderstood
with
then.
disadvantage.
I misunderstood then.
Okay, I'm doing it with disadvantage again. Okay, so that's... first one is a 23 to hit.
Mhm.
Yeah. And second is a nat 20 plus 7 to hit.
Okay.
I was just thinking to myself, it would be so funny if the 23 was the low roll.
Yeah. You absolutely hit. Theoretically, you could roll low enough that it doesn't really matter, but you would have to. You roll 2d10 for damage for Shadow Spear, yeah?
Let's see. I mean, do I have sneak attack on a door?
No.
I think it's 2d10, but let me just double check. Oh God, I have too many fucking spell cards. Yeah, it's 2d10.
Okay. If you roll anything other than 2 nat 1s, you've busted the door open enough to be able to see through it. So go ahead and roll those d10s.
Oh, we're not giving it to me? We're not being nice?
I actually have an amount of health the door has, so no.
It's the strongest fucking door in the world.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Trying to find my d10 in my bag. Is this you? Okay. Yeah, that's 9 damage to Mr. Door.
Okay. Then yeah, you bust open. The door bends right around the lock as you shoot the lock off, and the door is like twisted. It's not really functional. You think even if the earth was removed, somebody would have a problem like opening it normally because it's fucked up now. You can see outside.
Well, Cal doesn't even ask. She just gets Jamal out.
Okay. Bonus action, Shadow Walk.
Yep.
Okay. Or yeah.
Shadow step, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Steps out. Jamal is safe and on the outside.
Cool. That's everything for me.
Okay. Then.
Cal stands to block the gap with her body.
So that nobody else can see outside?
Yeah.
Okay, smart.
Now, you know how when you're in a dream and you like want to say something but you can't? And Fish is not like themselves. They are like seeing through Henry when these happen. But like it's very much a case of like wanting to be like, hey, where are you? You know.
Yep.
Like to have some sort of communication. But of course, that's not guaranteed. Also, there's probably no second half to the vision. It's just that I did a funny thing.
If you want to try to,
You go to someone else and you're like, no, change the channel.
you go to one of the cops. You appear in just like a road worker who's just across town, not involved in anything that's happening.
You've like flipped into Jonas's backstory and you're like, boring, some fucking throne, I don't give a shit.
King getting shut in a room? Who cares?
You can, if you would like, roll an opposed charisma check to try and communicate or influence this vision in some way.
I would like to. Just to be like, hold on. You stopped at the part where I could have learned something.
Okay.
Tell me, at least tell me where I am.
You are doing a charisma check versus Henry's.
Okay. And, okay. That's a nat 20.
If Henry does not get a nat 20, then you succeed.
What? Did he?
You got a nat 19.
Oh! So close!
So close.
Fish being like, I beat this child!
Okay. What are you trying to get at or communicate in this moment?
You know, where on planet Earth are you so that once I'm out of this current situation that I'm in, that I can come and get you? Or at least, like, so go to the place where you are to solve the problem that you're clearly having.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, where are you?
Okay. You got it. As you feel this connection with Henry, the police bust in. The lead one running up. You can see veins of black. As he gets close, face seems to contort, change a little bit. Beneath the skin, the face Jonas was wearing in the vision previously. For just a moment, as you hear whispered, not in your mind, not like Jonas speaks to you, but actually spoken aloud. It seems like a certain someone has been connecting with you, so I think unfortunately our experiment is at an end. Henry Malaveda, for the attempted murder of Oscar Malaveda, you are under arrest as you are slammed against the table. You push and pull at this vision. You feel confusion and pain and a bit of connection and a bit of recognition. Henry can feel you in this moment, very briefly. You feel the emotion of
of confusion and concern and fear. And you say, "Where are you?" And Henry rolls his head on the table a little bit as he's slammed down, handcuffed, and you look at a newspaper article framed in this diner. Big Ed's Diner celebrates 25 years serving Cedar Falls, Colorado. And as you look in at the table is a shining napkin holder, almost mirror finished, and you can see yourself. You don't actually see yourself. When you looked in the reflection before, you saw your own face. Now you see Henry's. A little bit darker than you. Different jawline, different chin. But the eyes, bright green. Hair of the same texture. Henry Malaveda. You don't know Henry Malaveda. You do know Oscar Malaveda. And you spent a very long, intense, and intimate relationship with Isabel Malaveda. And you look at this young man, different to you, but similar. Start to see the pieces put together. He's a combination of his mom. You can see it in her jaw. You can see it in his nose a little bit. And you see yourself. And in this moment of connection, magic similar to yours reaches out, brushes against you, and for just a moment, you hear in your mind, "Dad?" before the connection is cut, and Henry is taken away. And with that, I need you to roll your death saving throw.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Okay. You got it. Then with that, we will dive back into the battle. It is now the top of the round with Rain and the remnants on deck. Because Fish is not currently alive, Fish cannot hear, "Dad! Dad, I think I found May! Dad? Dad!"
And John was looking for Fish, and now
Sorry, I'm trying to find the Henry page. Where's my Henry page?
It's Isabella, right?
It's spelled the Mexican way,
Okay.
I believe.
One L.
I still thought that was so funny.
Where was it through here?
It still counts.
It does still count. We all have love interests with our names. But you know what? You know what? I genuinely, if you gave May a love interest named Laura, I would like take me like a minute to be like, hold on. Yeah. We got Isabella, Laura, and Aaron. No one would ever know what these bitches are.
Yes. Spelled the Mexican way, Isobel.
Oh, so no
and-
A.
No way.
So, yeah, straight up. Okay. Very funny.
Isobel. Yeah. It is now Rain's turn with the remnants on deck. Cal cannot really see well in this room. You can only get a very small slice. And Fish is currently incapacitated. So I'm not going to describe anything that happens other than that you hear some sounds.
Oh, good.
And then it is the remnants. First things first. Okay. That is... Yep. Okay. Okay. Oh, and I have to roll that. Fail. Okay. The darkness disappears. That spell is dropped. Boop. And then we have... Fish receives this one. Okay. Fish suddenly find themselves pulled out of this vision, the echoes of Henry and his relationship to you still ringing in your mind as you awaken, heal 19 points of health, and find yourself in a very precarious situation. You have been dragged while unconscious, so that your body is half over the line into remnant territory.
Sister Rag, who you can just barely see in front of you, is kneeling on your arms and has bound your hands in shadows, so you are bound to the ground. Brother Ostura has just finished kicking Brother Rain into the remnant area as his remnant is torn from him into the soul catcher, and he tries to throw himself as a last remnant act back into the remnant side. Roll to see if he succeeds next time. And you see Rain become possessed by a remnant, and yourself potentially about to be. And with that, it is Jamal's turn. I think he very hard but very briefly wraps his arm around Cal and gives her a very tight hug, and then says, "I'm gonna look for help," and then runs off. Does not get very far. As he turns the corner, it becomes very dark, and you hear him say, "Kekano! Kekano!" As you hear, "Hello? Hello? Is that Jamal? Hello? Hello? Man, we gotta hurry!" Then that brings us to Cal with Fish on deck.
So Cal can see everything now, right?
You are still outside the door. If you you put yourself in front of it, so if you peek through the crack, you might see that Fish is in a precarious situation.
Oh, Cal didn't go. Cal didn't shadow step.
Oh, you didn't shadow step yourself? You just shadow stepped Jamal out?
I can't do that.
I thought you have to take somebody with you.
Not in the way that the spell was modified.
Oh, then I'm wrong.
Unless you want to change it, but I think it's written as you can shadow step yourself or someone else.
You're right.
Yeah.
Then Jamal just
Let's start through the door.
Yeah, it says, "I'm gonna get help," and runs off, and you are actually in front of the door,
yeah.
Which means
she blocked the way out, basically.
Yes. Which means you can see Fish in an incredibly precarious situation.
And so everybody else in the room is on the remnant side of the door and is
You can see movement and shapes, knowing that there are somebody, maybe two somebodies, just in the remnant covered area. But you can most clearly see Fish prone and seemingly restrained or trapped in some way, and Astura in the middle of throwing himself back to the remnant side with a big streak of black yanking out of his mouth, with also some blood from digging into his esophagus as it starts to get sucked into the soul catcher.
Okay. But Fish is up, right? Fish is prone but conscious.
Fish is conscious, yes. Fish woke up in a bad situation, but is conscious.
Okay, yeah, Cal is gonna, knowing that nobody's really gonna be able to make leaps and bounds to her, is gonna go, Fish?
Yeah.
I got Jamal out.
Great. Leave me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back. Don't do anything too stupid.
I already have.
Cal just sort of Grimaces knows that it's not a great idea to go into this mess by herself. Turns, Shadow steps out, and then uses like shadows and like I don't know, spare pieces of fabric or something to block that viewpoint out.
Okay. Excellent. You run off after Jamal. You can hear running footsteps.
And does dancing lights.
Okay. Excellent. You immediately Jamal comes out of like a side passage. He made a wrong turn like at the first possible opportunity.
Yeah.
And you are running together, and you can hear May and Kekino coming up. That is going to bring us to Fish's turn, with the no one on deck. I guess Brother Astura on deck.
They're not giving up. It's time. No.
Yeah.
It's time to do a pulse wave to push everyone fucking back.
All right. Because of where you are starting your turn, I need you to make 2 wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
Not with disadvantage, just 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay, the first one is 8.
Okay.
The second one is 3, which was with a nat 1.
Okay. You have the rest of this turn to act as you wish. As your head has been dragged over the line, remnants have started crowding your mouth and are forcing their way in, pulling your teeth apart and starting to slither down your throat. Not 1, but 2 you can feel in your mouth heading in. And more coming close. What do you want to do in this turn? Pulse wave?
Yeah, pulse wave. Pulse wave. Get it. Fuck them all off. Get off me. And Fish thrashes and yells. Get off me and so on. Every creature in the cone of 30 feet must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature takes 6d6 for 6d6 force damage on a failed save and is pulled or pushed 15 feet away. We're pushing them away and die. Fuck off.
Yep.
Get away from me.
All right.
I don't want to be near anyone right now.
Yeah. You can upcast it to push people farther if you want.
Yes. I have. Okay.
Every additional spell point is an additional 5 feet if they fail.
Oh no, I only have enough spell points to just do a regular, so I'll just I just have to.
All right. There are 4 people that are right here and can be affected by this. I will say you can choose to hit Astura if you decide to wait, let me double check the wording exactly. Yes, you would either need to push or pull for everybody. If you hit Astura with this, if you like angle it to hit him, he is flying into the remnant section if he fails his saving throw, which he is currently in the process
Bye, bitch.
of unpossessed. So, all right.
I don't care. I don't care.
What's the spell save DC?
Spell save 16.
16. Okay. Constitution. That's hilarious. Okay. Guess what?
Astura
Cleric?
succeeded.
Cleric 2 succeeded by 1 point.
Well done, Cleric 2.
Sister Rag, Sister Tarsandon, Brother Rain, and Brother Astora rocket off of you. Go ahead and roll your damage as you also blast back the remnant fog. 30 feet? Yeah.
It's a 30-foot cone, but they get blasted 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that actually disrupts the remnants.
No.
Cool.
24 damage to everyone who failed.
Okay. Astora is here and incapacitated. He goes down. Cleric 2 dodges, takes half damage, and
12.
is fine. Rain ends up back here and is okay. Seems pretty injured. Rag is blasted back and is a bit decently injured, and Tarsandon also gets blasted back and is brought down. And because Rag is no longer holding you with that spell, you are prone, but you are no longer restrained.
And can we just scramble across the line, please?
Yep.
And the whole time Fish is saying, "Fuck off! Fuck off! Get away from me! Go away!"
You feel the remnants burrow into you. As you cross the line, it hurts. It is like wanting to flay your skin off as you cross the soul catchers. But notably, the remnants don't leave. You have a deep connection with Jonas, one that allows you to have multiple remnants. As these remnants have tried to use you as a bridge to escape their confines, they would have tried to fit all of you full of remnants to bursting until you could release them. And as you stumble up and away, you can use half your movement to stand, and then you've got another 15 feet. You can get over to here. You hear a voice from Jonas in your head. Oh, Fish. Well, I guess I did make a deal. You feel like someone kicked you so goddamn hard in the stomach, you immediately fold over and essentially vomit up 2 remnants as Jonas purges you of them because of May's deal. Jonas was like, "I get something for nothing because they don't have remnants in them," and then you got remnants in you, and Jonas was like, "Fuck, fine." But now there are 2 remnants free on the other side of the barrier with a non-sealed hole out to freedom. And as your turn ends, they are going to zip off and out the door and disappear.
Wait, out what door?
That
The door that you covered with cloth.
No. I said shit. I said cloth because I didn't know what to do, but I said like shadows and stuff like that. Cal didn't just go, eh. She tried. Yeah. She's smarter than I am.
Yeah. The necromancers who can shadow step through by seeing through that hole can't see through that hole, and you prevented them shadow stepping. Remnants are like non-corporeal spiritual objects, and you fucked up this door enough that it's no longer making a perfect seal. Hence why you can see out, and they just slip out.
Fine.
2 remnants somewhere out in the world.
They're also like, shit, man, it's dark.
Yeah. Remnants can see in the dark. They're fine. That
and Fish
brings
goes,
us.
fuck, shit,
Fuck shit, ass.
fuck.
Ugh. Spitting up remnant goo. As that brings us to the top of the round, and May. May, this way! This way! This way! Around the corner! This way! Collisionist!
May's-
Jamal!
Upon seeing them, May borderline throws Kekino at them. Says, "Good to see you're alive. Can't chat. Got to save everybody." Keeps running towards the room, straight past them.
Cal like fumbles with Kekino and she's like, it's fishes in there and the necromancers. I was going back for reinforcements. What are you going to do
Just keep
to
it. Just
save
tell me you
everyone
close
exactly?
the door. Just tell me you close the door.
What are you doing exactly?
Magic system in the room. Fucking make sure. Did you close the door? And May's like already like she's like screaming back over her shoulder.
I blocked any necromancers from being able to shadow walk out.
That doesn't sound like it's closed. Rounds the corner.
That's what happens when you seal us in, May. All right.
Somebody fucking lock the door, okay?
I don't know
And
who.
also use some
I was
fucking
charmed at
Moldarage,
the time.
which is a favorite spell of a friend of mine.
May's running. Either doesn't hear it and or doesn't respond.
Kekino goes. Collisionist, okay, I got May. Do we need to get the necromancers and we gotta save Dad? Dad has died a lot. And something is wrong and something is weird and Dad's barfing. Dad's barfing right now. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, it makes me sick. Oh, that's bad. Oh, okay, I think it's over. We gotta go save Dad.
I don't know. Cal turns to Jamal and is like, "What do you think? Keep going?"
Send the attach the lights to me, and I will I'll run out and try to get the necromancers, and you head back and help Fish, maybe.
All right.
Good luck.
Kisses
then-
him on the forehead.
Yeah, and then
Actually, no, she doesn't do that because she's too short.
He comes in for a kiss, so you can just receive it, and then he runs off.
Kekino goes, "Heh."
Gross. And yeah, that is May's turn. You arrive outside the door. All the lines of symbols congregate here. You see where it is broken, where it is weakened. You whip out some tools. It's just a question of how well can May gladly fix it.
May's gonna mark herself with Fortunate Soul right off the bat.
Yeah, probably as you were running. Yeah.
Yep. And tools check.
Yep.
Do I get advantage because Jonas is malingering in my ear?
Yes. You made a deal with him. Yes.
Please God. Another nat 20. The first one was a 4, so I'm very pleased that I got that advantage.
Well, good.
That brings it to a 28, and May's going to use Flash of Genius to boost it to a 32.
Okay. With a 32, it is not pretty work,
It is very slapdash. You manage to just a couple of hammer swings, knock out a chunk, knock out a chunk, knock out a chunk, put back the human figure that should be here to link this connection, put in the stylized feather on the other side of the door that links that connection. This is not going to last. This is quick and dirty work. You can put a lot of magic through this, and then it's probably going to break. But at least for right now, it'll work. And with that, you still got Fortunate Soul on you. Next turn, you'll be able to pump magic into it and activate whatever this is.
Yep.
We come to the remnants who are rushing forward towards Fish. Yeah, Rag has a capture spell. Okay. Rag is going to cast a spell on Fish. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Seven.
Okay, 7. A tendril of shadow wraps around your leg and pulls you prone, and you are moved 5 feet closer to the barrier. And that is attached to Rag. She has concentration. Cleric 1 comes out, looking a lot better, mostly fully healed. Covered in blood, but not too bad. Remnants could not give less of a shit about their own, and so Cleric 1 does not heal Astora or Tarsandon until it's obvious that they need them. Rain is going to do a couple shadow spears, do a shadow spear at the barrier / soulcatcher. Okay. Hits. Okay. Carves up a little furrow of stone. Looks like he'll need to be at that for a little while to break it, but is definitely working on it. And then we have Cleric 2 and Cleric 1 jump in. Yes. Yes. Okay. Doing some damage to the barrier kind of on this side. You can see a couple of symbol connections that are broken. Still looks like power is running through it pretty well, but you don't know with how much force there was before if that will last. And the remnant shadows move up by 2. Okay. Jamal, somewhere down the hall, runs and around a corner finds Beliala in ceiling handcuffs, being led by the rest of the high clerics, and grabs them, gets their attention, takes off back down. Looks like reserves are on the way. Then Cal is running back towards the room. If you use your bonus action, you can catch up with May and get back to the door at about the time May does.
Sure.
You can pull the shadows out of the way and look through if you want.
No.
You can help May with whatever May is doing. Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, no, Cal catches up to, or Cal, Cal will talk to May and is like, as running, and she's like, do you want me back in there? I can try and fish out. It sounds stupid as I'm saying it. I can try and fish out and, get back out with shadow walking.
Maya says, don't go in yet, but be ready.
All right. So bonus action to catch up to May and We'll wait
And
to
then you hold your action
come
to
in.
Shadow Step. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're saying Shadow Step as my ability counts as an action, right?
I believe it counts as a bonus action. I was talking.
No. The one you gave me, the new one, the level 10 one.
Yes, I believe that is a bonus action, but we can use it as a held action.
Okay. Because I just wanted to clarify the Shadow Step is for using it on anybody else and using it after my normal uses per day, right? Like that's why it still exists.
The altered Misty Step. Yeah. Correct.
And I cannot use Shadow Step on someone else or Shadow Walk on someone else as the ability.
Correct. Yes.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure I was totally on the same page.
So technically, you only used Shadow Step to get Jamal out of the room, and then
Yeah.
you got yourself out with Shadow Walk. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have enough spell points for another Shadow Step?
Yeah.
Cool. Then yes, that you hold that action and prepare to do that. That is now Fish's turn.
Okay.
you-
Blasphemous darts. That one. Rag.
Mhm.
And then other two, Rain and Cleric 2. I
got it.
interrupted you. Go on.
I was going to say the first thing you need to do is make another dexterity saving throw.
I will do this. 19.
Okay. You manage to, as the tendril hooks your ankle and takes you off your feet and drags you close, you can see its spasm about to crunch down and really get your leg, and you manage to kind of kick out and wiggle out. So you're no longer restrained, although you are still prone, and you cannot be dragged closer yet unless they are going to try to cast the spell again. So you are still prone. You can obviously shoot Blasphemous Darts from prone, but you need to spend half your movement to get up if you're going to.
Okay.
Move
I want to do
not up.
Blasphemous darts first.
Yep. Okay, roll
so
your
that's-
damage on those.
Okay. That is 4 damage to Rain. 1 dart goes to him. 2 damage to Cleric 2.
Okay.
And to Rag, she gets 5 damage.
Okay. Definitely, definitely hits them and hurts them. You don't see flashes of physical pain as they kind of off through it with the remnants, ignoring that signal. But you did absolutely do damage to them.
It doesn't matter. Now I'm getting up using half movement and using the remainder of my movement to just go and press my back against the door so that as soon as it perhaps opens or there's an opportunity, I'm just gonna...
15 feet. You need to do a Constitution saving throw for Rag. She succeeds, so she's still got the spell. Then it is time for May to do what May does. I want you to give me an Arcana check and decide how many spell points you are going to spend. Do the Arcana check first because it is more efficient if you get high Arcana than low Arcana. But then you're going to tell me how many spell points you're going to spend to activate this.
Okay. Is this, if I were to use Fortunate Roll, this is the roll, right? Is there going to be another roll after this?
No,
Okay.
this is the roll. I mean, unless
Alright.
you're like, I'm going to save it for trying to bluff to the others, being like, I didn't abandon you. Maybe that's more important to May. But,
No.
yeah.
May is kind of in a, you guys should be fucking thankful I came back sort of deal after you so desperately tried to get me possessed. Okay. God. Okay, that's... Okay, alright. That's a... So what's my Arcana? Okay, that's a 17.
Okay.
You think that is going to be pretty efficient?
I fucking hope so. Yep. Cool. May only has 1 spell point left, so she's using it.
Okay.
If there's any way, can someone else chuck in a spell point?
No, this is really kind of a May
solo.
focus here thing. Only really you know how to push the power in like that. That's good. If you had gotten under a 5, 1 spell point would have had a negligible effect. 5 to 10 would have done something. 10 to 15 would have done okay. Because you got over 15, it does actually have a pretty decent effect, even with 1 spell point.
Thank fucking Christ.
All right, and we will do that spell effect in just 1 moment, as it is now the Remnant's turn. Okay. You can't see this person, but it's gonna do that, and they are going to do this. Cleric 2 turns and does some sort of healing magic to Brother Astura. Brother Astura gets up. Rag throws out another tendril. Give me a dexterity saving throw for Fish. You are just at the edge of where you can be hit.
17.
17. Pass. The remnants, controlling Rain, Cleric 2, Astura, Cleric 1, Tarsandin, and Rag know that, as I said before, the soul catchers are not as efficient if multiple people come through them. You feel something in the room change. A pressure that wasn't there before increasing. And you can see the remnants realize it too. And in a desperate moment before what May is trying to do activates, they are all going to try to charge through and brute force the soul catcher. All right. Let's do a luck check for each of these remnants. Okay. Rag. Rain. Astura. Cleric 1. Tarsandin. Cleric 2. Okay. Astura Remnant makes it through. Sister Rag Remnant makes it through. Cleric 1, 2, Tarsandin, and Rain both all stumble through, get their remnants ripped out of them. Looks like it hurts like shit, and they collapse unconscious on the ground. And with that, power of this room activates. Do you still have Eldritch Sight on?
Yep.
You see the carved symbols behind you as you're running towards the door. To the side of the door, flash, stop, stay on. Next one's flash, stop, stay on. All down the room. And you see the outline of the room, and at the very end, a figure, a pictogram of a human figure wearing a crown, standing one arm raised beside a throne. And then the hand of the figure moves slightly. And you feel pressure building in you. And then stop. As it runs over you Doesn't bother you in the slightest. You're okay. You're safe. Astora and Rag look like they are suddenly being buffeted by a strong wind. Not quite hurricane force. May wasn't able to put enough magic in to get this up to full strength. But they start sliding backwards, pushing against a force. Rag trips on unconscious people and is pulled in. Stora manages to keep his footing, and both have their remnants ripped out of them as they fall unconscious on the remnant side of the room still. But as soon as you see the remnants stream out of their bodies, they almost don't make it to the soul catcher, as they are like a kite being buffeted, and only the strength of the soul catcher sucking them in is able to pull them and trap them, while the rest of the remnants in the room are sucked back and back and back into the corners, into the shadowed places, the entire room clearing of remnants until they seem almost a solid mass pressed into the carvings at the end of the room. May you feel the magic stutter and the connection break, but you think you've put enough charge in to keep this running for at least a little while. Enough to get everyone out. Cal goes, steps in, grabs Fish, shadow step out, shadow walk herself out. You leave the other necromancers. They don't seem to be in any imminent danger at this moment. And, well, they attacked you, so, you know, fuck them. Even if they were possessed, it's no excuse. As, you are now finally safe, although tired, injured, Kekino reunites with Fish and is incredibly happy. And says, "Dad, I felt you die, and then some, like, magic stuff happened? What was that? That's crazy. I'm glad you're safe." As the other high clerics run up and, essentially put you under arrest. As you are all handcuffed beside Sister Beliala, who goes, "Hello, Caliginus, I did as you asked."
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone is alive.
They are.
A success.
I would agree.
All in all, a good day.
I wouldn't go that far.
As you are led away, the high clerics very carefully check over May's work, and then are able to pry open the door enough to go in and recover the unconscious bodies of these clerics here. It seems like they're going to be unconscious for a little while. They're the only ones who can kind of attest to what happened until they get witnesses who aren't you. The assumption is, of course, that you attacked the necromancers and tried to free the remnants. So you are under arrest for now.
And he's like, "Look at the symbol work. What do you think I was doing?"
Despite the fact that they won't be believed at this point, Fish still says, "2. Two got away.
They did?
Yeah.
Didn't do a good. I didn't. I was thinking about human beings and.
It's not your
No,
fault.
I didn't do. It was my fault, Fish. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Denya, it's not your fault.
Cal is going to, be like, "Are you going to? Is all activity in the temple postponed until you put us on trial?"
We see no reason to. This is translated for you probably by Fish or Kekino because this person does not share a language with you. We see no reason to put the tests on hold, but we will await. Any other functions of the library until the remnants are properly sealed.
And Cal goes, "And if I confess that Abbot Tinnitus made me do this?"
Is that true?
Would that put the trial on hold?
It would certainly change the order of things.
Would it put the trial on hold?
It would make the trial happen faster while the test was put on hold for at least a little while.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Would it put the test on hold? Was what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Cal looks efficient May.
This was just a very brief translation error. I was like, will it put the trial on? Sorry, well, hold. The test? The test.
Yeah. Cal looks efficient May.
You hear this brother Saya, speak to another one of the high clerics in a very low voice, and then says, "Is Sister Tail involved in this conspiracy?"
You have to be specific. Which conspiracy?
The conspiracy to free the remnants to attack us.
No, she had nothing to do with it.
Then I see no reason why her test should be delayed. Let's go.
No, the other one. No, the other one. No, wait, no, the other one.
Oh, fuck, says Fish, and looks at Cal and goes, he's probably already in there.
Fucking idiots go and do some super important test with a bunch of their high clerics, like, in the random gallbladders.
No,
their sacred temple.
No, it has not yet reached midnight. Tinnitus test is going to be delayed until the trial if you are going to accuse him. But Tail's test will not be delayed regardless. And Tail is only taking the test to maybe try to kill Tinnitus at the cost of her own life to keep it from getting this power. Essentially, without Tinnitus being there to do the test, Tail is putting a gun to her head and pulling the trigger for no reason.
Cal turns to Fish and being like, "Have you ever yelled at someone and made them want to commit suicide?"
Yes.
Right, what did you do about it?
I don't know. She went into the woods.
Cal's like, never mind. Cal is like, ask if, So Beliala went to the room with all of the clerics and Tail. The clerics that were meditating with Tail left, but Tail stayed?
Tail is being supervised right now. Pretty much all the high clerics but one
came with. There's one who's kind of like, okay, I just kind of like, I keep the door open between the tail and the tinnitus meditation room, and I just kind of like stand here and I keep an eye on each. Yeah. They're supervised, but most of like the power of the temple came down here to solve this issue.
Cal will say, Tail will want to testify on Tinnitus's behalf.
Well, we will question her privately then. In the meantime, the temple is on lockdown, and we must reject any other members who are studying here.
Mikkel is handcuffed, so she doesn't like go for high fives with the team. Mission failed successfully.
Fish looks at May and says, "Thank you."
You still have Eldritch Sight on?
Yeah.
You still see the gray in May's veins?
Yeah.
Our friendship. May is kind of like not even paying attention to stuff going on. She's kind of like overwhelmed with like, hey, she just did some incredible simple work on like her passion, like, you know, her dream passion field. She interacted with like ancient magic in a way that very few people ever have. So she's kind of like,
I was like, if she's looking for praise from Cal, it'll come. It's just a lot's going on.
Oh, no, she's not looking for praise. She's very satisfied with herself. Yeah. She's like, hell
Lights
yeah,
up.
I saved the day.
Yeah, better than sex.
Jamal's like, I didn't lose any health points. I call that a win.
Win.
Yeah. Jamal's like, truly, the difference between me and full health and the me dead is one attack, so I'm good.
Jamal got the equivalent of a... Yeah. Jamal got the equivalent of a Pokemon XP share because he just had a fight with a bunch of level 10s, so he's about to like jump up to level 7.
Yeah. What's his HP?
He has a max HP of 22.
Oh.
And
well,
his
you know,
armor class is 9.
My baby.
You know, he's an academic, he's not a fighter.
Yeah,
thank you,
lover.
He would very much agree with you. And yes, as you get marched away to a potential trial, seeing if you have attacked this temple and will therefore be horribly executed, and you wait on the words of people who are unconscious and may not have memories of what happened, also trying to be honest, rush a trial in order to keep Tinnitus and Tail from taking their High Clerics test. We will close out today's session and see you next time on Well-Dressed Bones. It is pretty clear by the way that you are being treated that Cal is considered kind of the leader, most senior necromancer among you, abbot of a temple, and therefore you are going to have to be a defense lawyer, functionally. You're going to have to be lead counsel on your own case.
Cool.
Study up on necro law.
Make Elwoods proud.
You make Elwoods proud, exactly. And with that, we will end today's session. We'll see you next time on Well-Dressed Bones.